Cheers, queers! What's on the big gay agenda today, Theora?
Today, we're going to be wrapping up, for real, our discussion of Pluto the Series, episode 11. Woo! Michelle,
Woo!
I hope we met your standards. This was 4 parts, not 3. And here we are.
But the timing is still to be determined.
TBD. Only we can figure out how long this is going to be by the end of this episode. So, thank you for those who've come along on the journey of wrapping up this amazing episode, because there's just so much in it. It was such a joy to watch and to comb through. But before we jump into the rest of this, first we want to do our corrections and clownery segment from our lovely listeners at home. So we'll start this off with Patreon. So we'll start with Kyoshi. First of all, Kyoshi, thank you for always writing in. We appreciate your insight and dedication to watching Pluto and then giving us your thoughts. This goes to everybody, but just like I keep noticing your name coming up. Okay, so Kyoshi writes, in defense of May, basically. Although May is selfish and extremely manipulative, I do think her regret associated with Ben is genuine and not because of his friendship with I. The fact that she never wanted to represent Batman shows she has some ethical and moral standards. It's true, she does change her tune. I mean, honestly, she never wanted to represent him in the first place. That was all her dad and shit. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still plausible that it was because of I.
It is absolutely plausible. With May, you just never know. I stand by. I understand where you're coming from, Casey. I stand by. I like Caitlin's thought that like it was selfish at first, but then like it became genuine later on. Because people change over
Both
time.
can be true.
Yeah, exactly. Both can be true. We'll never know with May. She's such an enigma. Honestly, that's what makes her fun as a character. Because like, you never actually know what's going on. You can project onto her what you want to believe, but like, and you could be right. We will never know because not even Chow knows. She wrote these characters. I'm just saying.
Oh,
but yes, thank you. And then Kyoshi writes about Caitlin's challenge, which is what is the first thing Oom would talk about in therapy, and writes, the first thing Oom would talk about in therapy would be her car accident, I think. I mean, nearly surviving a fatal accident just to be thrown into more trauma would have anyone question why. I think that's valid.
Yeah. Yeah, the car accident, I mean, if they would quickly get to the car accident thing in therapy, because like if she didn't realize that she had PTSD, that was definitely good. Yeah.
The therapist did.
I do not speak from experience whatsoever at all.
Not at all.
Mm-mm.
Therapy who, right, Caitlin?
Yeah. Never heard of it. All right. Our next comment is from Cassie M. And they said, think you are a little too harsh on May and not quite harsh enough on Oom. At least it comes across that way to me. And I will say, in my defense, I do defend May a tiny bit in this episode coming up. So
I will say, not in my defense, that I will love Oom enough for the both of us, Cassia. I'm very biased towards Oom, and I'm not afraid to say that, and I fully acknowledge that. But like honestly, like I said in the last episode, I had a much more positive view of May until I started like really analyzing the show, and it became more negative, and it wasn't something I intended when I was doing these notes. I was just like, damn, like I just really feel like I'm at the point where I really can't trust May as a narrator at all. Like,
no, like
I can't. Like I just can't.
I liked May. May was just like, oh, she's great. And then eventually, as I was looking and like really thinking about like what she was saying, I was like, why am I not liking her? Like this was before Theora and I even talked about it either.
Yeah.
And I was like, is it bad like I'm not liking her?
Right.
Like it's weird. And then
yeah,
sometimes Theora and my thoughts line up. And I'm like, "Okay, cool, so I'm not alone."
Yeah, it was really
We might be alone together, but
it was a very unintended consequence of, like, doing these notes to be like, "Well, shit, she's shadier than I thought she was at the beginning." And I will defend May a bit too in this episode too, because like, again, take you have to take her point of view into account even though it's unreliable. Like, her upbringing was very, like, kinda similar to Oom's in a way where they were both isolated in a way like, isolated, but in under different circumstances, and then, like, Oom wasn't as much of a fighter as May was, so then May's always in fight mode all the time, and it's, like, to the point where it's, like, can be harmful the way she's, like, very untrustworthy towards other people and stuff, but it, like, comes from the way she survived, so it's, like, doesn't make her bad, like, necessarily, it's just, like, that is her mindset all the time, and so, like, there are negative connotations associated with that, and then there's, like, negative connotations associated with When gets backed into a corner, she gets jealous and insecure, and, like, it just none of these characters are good, like, they're all, like, good and bad and everything in between, and that's what makes them fun, and that's what made this a fun show to, like, dive into,
Mhm,
but we're now getting into the section where is more empathetic, so, like, that's the tone, and also, I will love her enough for the both of us, so don't worry about it.
Theora loves enough
I
for the
do love
entire
Oom.
population.
I do love Oom, I do. I love the way GMMT wrote her because it made her just really interesting because in the novel, everybody's horrible. Like, they're all horrible characters, like, it's really bad, and, like, I do like the way GMMTV made the characters more nuanced, so they're more fun, but they still have that core element from Chow's novel where, like, everybody was morally bad and devious, like, all of them, including who was gaslighting after her coma. Like, they were all terrible. Like, the starting point of Pluto, the novel, was, like, horrible people, which, like, happens in life, right? And then, like,
Yeah,
GMMTV is like, let's humanize all of them and make them more
and
empathetic.
create Officer Hottie.
And made Officer Hottie, and then forgot about Officer Hottie, and then anyway, so
Yeah,
yeah, go
alright.
back to the beginning episodes if you want us to, like, have positive views of May because it just went down over time. Anyway,
Think about if we did all these notes before we filmed the first episode, how that would change.
of
Like, I'm sure
episode
we could go
11?
back again.
Yeah, I'd
No,
probably
like,
be more
just
empathetic towards May if I wrote episode 11 notes again.
well, yeah, I mean, like, if we wrote all of our notes for, like, 1 through 12 and then started filming 1, like, how that would change,
Oh,
because we've already analyzed everything, and then being like, "Oh, okay." It's like we have to analyze it again. So, basically, you just have to keep rewatching the show because
exactly.
there's so much in it.
There's a lot in it. And
Alright,
these are our
anyway,
opinions. We are not experts. We
yes.
didn't write any of this. Like, these are just our
No,
thoughts, and we're human, and we're gonna put our own biases on the characters. That's kinda how this
and our
goes.
interpretations of it.
Correct. These are interpretations. Our interpretations.
So Kasi continues, sure, May did some shady shit, but it was all in response to a bad upbringing by shitty parents, which triggered some bad behavior, to the trauma of falling in love with the wrong twin, which she couldn't possibly have known, and to the real fear of losing the twin she actually loved. Okay, but like, is it really trauma to fall in love with the wrong twin? Like, she knew the other twin better than the twin she thought
Listen,
that she
well,
loved.
because there's evidence in the show that May was like, when they were in the relationship, May was like, something's not right. I'm not feeling what I felt the first time, which I think that I think the real okay, I think like the real message because it's fiction again, like kind of like take a step back. It's fiction, and a lot of like Thai dramas talk about fate. So I think that it's more like a fate thing. When she met Ioun, the actual Ioun in high school, it was like there was this connection through fate. And then when she was with in the present, like when they first reunited, she's like, oh, same name, this is her. And got to know over time. She was like, something's not right here. She's not the same person, or like, I'm not feeling the same thing, which, like, that's not anybody's fault if you're not like connecting with people. But like, that easily could have happened with the actual Ioun because you met her for 60 seconds. Like, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, that easily could have happened with either twin. It's just like they weren't as compatible as May wanted them to be, I guess. And then, yes, when she had I, she was afraid of losing I, but then she went through very extreme measures to keep I, like side piecing and it's like they kind of like repeat each other's plot lines a little bit, where side pieced May with Paul, and then later on, May side pieces with her sister, which I feel like is worse because it's her sister. Like, but anyway, no one cared about Paul, but I feel like it's a little
Poor
worse.
Paul.
Poor
Anyway.
Paul. Anyway.
All right. Kasi continues, and for all the claims that just wanted to be loved by I, she's about to cross the line pretty far by the end of this episode and actually hurts the sister she claims to love significantly. That she is dealing with big trauma. And in fact, I lied to her repeatedly, excuses some of her behavior. As you said, they all need therapy.
They do.
They
They
do.
all hurt each other. They're in this cycle of hurting each other. That's the story.
Yeah.
All of them, including I.
But in my honest opinion, not all of it, though the warning signs gave were indeed missed. More on this when you get to the last part of episode 11. See, don't worry. I got you. I got you, Kasi, a little bit. You're going to like it a little bit, at least. In therapy, would probably mention first that everyone lied to her and betrayed her. That should be the first thing on her mind, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's valid.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kasi.
Like, I don't even know what's real.
Seriously, what is real? By the end of this, like, poor would understandably have trust issues if she didn't already. Thank you, Cassie. Appreciate your insight as always. All right, next we're going to move over to YouTube, where we have GB9999, who writes, in Thai, parentheses, and Asia in general, tip culture. Oh, this is, okay, this commenter is commenting on the cherry eye working at the bar thing. Okay, so they're writing in Thai and in Asia in general, tip culture is not there. So that means the wage level order is likely first, bartender with tips likely implies sex work, which is way more than like a DoorDasher, which is way more than a bartender without a tip. So it means literally Ioon was this close to choosing the wrong path, and kind of rescued her. FYI, Thailand is one of the biggest sex tourism countries in the world. So I guess this was a situation where I was probably about to do some sex work, and that's where stepped in. So thank you for clarifying that. Because it definitely did read like that, even though like visually that wasn't what I was seeing. So like, thank you for validating us.
Mm-hmm. All right, so the next comment is from the Slayer King 666, and they said, to answer your question, I was taught in law school that clients. So this was to us asking about lawyers and like, are they really like this? And yeah. Anyway, to answer your question, I was taught in law school that clients lie. They always want the lawyer to see them as the victim. So they tell half truths or they try deceiving the lawyer. They go in thinking they are smarter than us. So when we have to deal with people like this day in and day out, we start to develop a mindset that people are always lying before they tell the truth. And another point people forget is that the law is cold and uncaring. It doesn't care about your feelings. And in some cases, if you are morally right, it just cares what you can prove. I hope that helps you with understanding May a little better and why she acts the way she does. I identified with her a lot.
Yeah, no, that's super valid, and I, as like a healthcare provider, I get that. People lie all the fucking time. Like all the time. Like people will lie to you straight up and then like about stuff, and it's like I can literally check your blood work and prove that you're lying to me. So people lie all the fucking time. I'm sure
like people are lying to you as well, yeah.
All the time.
You're like, I'm so doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right. You're like, sure. So I totally, people suck. Like, so I totally get why May would just be like, everybody's always lying to me and trying to one up me, so I always have to have the power, so I'm not powerless ever again. Like, her mindset totally makes sense. It really does. But then it like when she's in a relationship with somebody, like it's hard to like trust her like at face value. Like I feel like hence like why these discussions have gone off the rail. But anyway, thank you for clarifying that. We appreciate the lawyer's perspective when talking about a lawyer. So thank you. And last but certainly not least from YouTube, we have a comment from Nora 11.08. Thank you also for always writing in. Your comments are super, super insightful. We appreciate you. So Nora writes, I agree with you about memories and truth because truth can be personal, quote, my truth, relative to, quote, your truth, or the elusive, quote, actual truth. I like where this is headed. Some even suggest truth is a spectrum shaped by belief, experience, and even, quote, post-truth narratives. That's true. Like, what is the truth? Like, what is it? Like, I don't know. It's one of those things that as I've gotten older, I agree with everything you just said. And it's like, really, what is the truth? Because you grow up as a
Yeah.
kid thinking it's one thing, but it's not. It's more complicated than you think it is, actually.
Yeah, it's unless you can, like, record everything and play it back.
But even then, what's
Yeah.
going on in
Everyone
America
has their
right now? You have footage of like ICE agents shooting people in the face, and then you have people who are there being like, that was some bullshit. And then you have a whole other side that's like, no, she was trying to kill him. It's like, what is the truth, right? Again, anything could be spun. Like, the truth
That's
is,
true.
it's exactly what you just said, Nora, shaped by belief, experience, and then the post-truth narrative. It's again, because what you remember in hindsight and is affected by what you committed to memory. So like it can change. Yeah. That's what made the show very fun, like the memory element. I really liked because it's really true. Stories with unreliable narrators are just kind of fun. All right, and then Nora continues, as for the sibling relationship, experiences Ai's betrayal deeply, and in my opinion, highlights the unique pain of being hurt by those closest, often expressing that family isn't always a safe haven. Blood doesn't guarantee loyalty, and that betrayal from family can be the deepest wound, forcing realizations that some bonds aren't unbreakable, and you can't force family to be family. Because betraying someone once can be a mistake, but saying someone twice is a choice.
Damn.
Yes, that was so good. Yes, all of that. No notes. Thank you, Nora.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's always very insightful comments.
We appreciate it. So we are coming to the end of Pluto, so like, I will miss all of your comments, but please keep writing them in because they add to the dialogue in the comment section, and we just love to see it. All right, and with that, we are going to transition over to wrapping up actual episode 11. All right, so we are going to go back to the night of Oom's wedding. And we open with who's at Paul's place or theirs place, who knows, still in her wedding dress, and she plugs her phone into her charger because that bitch is dead. Because this is so real. Because weddings, as somebody who's married, weddings for the people in the wedding are a fucking blur. I'm sure her phone died like 2 hours into that bitch because like her phone was probably blowing up constantly, and like you're trying to take photos, and it's just like how they're not asleep right now, I don't understand because the weddings are fucking exhausting.
If they would have been asleep by now, everything would be so different.
You know what I mean? That would have helped so many
They
things.
should have just went to
Mhm.
bed.
They should have definitely gone to bed. Okay, so as Oom's phone charges, Paul drunkenly swaggers up behind Oom and hugs her from behind. And this reminded me of Heartstopper, if you've ever seen that show. This is like Nick. Every time he hugs Charlie, he's like, I need to recharge because she's charging the phone. And Nick would always do that. It's really cute. He needs hugs
Yeah.
to recharge. It's so cute. Like he also like Paul has that dopey look on his face too that reminds me of Nick. Like very puppy dog face.
Yeah. That's sweet.
Mm-hmm.
But also, why did Paul have to drink so much on his wedding night? Like that's a sign for you that things are not okay, buddy.
No, I mean it's a people drink to celebrate. And you're just like, yeah, woo, you're just having fun with people. Like people don't always drink as a coping mechanism for negative stuff. You're just having fun. Also, like, again, as somebody who's been at a wedding, like I remember like I didn't even eat because like we had all this food, but I didn't eat because I was being pulled in a million different directions. So it's very possible that like they didn't eat. They just had like a few drinks and like
That's fair.
their system. Like they're chaotic for the people in the wedding. Paul recharges by hugging Oom. Oom smiles and seems happy and content when Paul says, I'm happy you're finally mine. because that's been his objective this whole time. So it's cute, a little possessive, but I'll give Paul the benefit of the doubt.
But he truly means that because, like, he knows that he's been in a competition with May this whole time, and he's like, "Well, I married her, so I win."
That's true. Then makes the comment that Paul drank a lot, and he very playfully is like, "No bit," which is so cute.
That is really cute. And
It
the
was
way that
so
he smiles
cute.
at the end too, like, just a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah, so that makes me think that he was just having fun at the wedding and wasn't, like, upset. Which means he did not overhear what I and were talking about in the hallway, which was upsetting if you recall.
Could you imagine?
Well, we wouldn't have gotten here, honestly.
Yeah,
We wouldn't have gotten to this scene.
that's true.
All right, so this really cute moment is interrupted when an unknown number calls Paul. And Paul is confused because why would anybody be calling him this late? So he answers, and it's May calling because texted her, and May hasn't been able to get a hold of because Oom's phone died. And then Paul looks at who's smiling innocently in the corner because, yeah, it's weird, but they were just having a great grand old moment. She doesn't know this is May. Also, an unknown number. I'm confused about why it's an unknown number calling Paul because didn't Paul set up the meeting with May when they met way back when he
Well,
was just
maybe
dating How did
maybe
that
he deleted
happen?
her number.
Huh?
Maybe he deleted her number.
Eh,
I don't know.
Anyway, I would figure that he would have her number saved or like it would show up as the number instead of unknown. Anyway,
Yeah, no, that part was weird, but,
it's
it happens, I guess.
it's weird because they've established a connection with each other. But anyway, so that's already a little weird.
Maybe he saved her in his phone as unknown.
I mean, yeah, maybe, yeah, that's fair. Maybe because he doesn't know what to make of
Because
her.
like, also, if
That's fair.
Looked at his phone, like, he didn't want her to see that he had her number.
Because everybody's lying at Yeah, you're right. He saved her
Mhm.
as unknown. That's actually really funny. He's not devious, so he would do something stupid like that. That's a very Casol move. You know what I mean? I'll just save them as unknown. Will never know. It doesn't. It looks like an unknown number is calling me. It's a very Casol move.
Again,
Again, they
just
would.
look at the context. Why is there someone named Unknown?
Yeah. Shh, mind your business. Okay, so Paul hands the phone and says, "It's May. Meadowy called you." Now, okay, remember when we were doing May's recollection of this phone call, and I said, quote, May couldn't be bothered to remember this full conversation. She selectively remembered parts that affected her. This is what I meant. There's other stuff going on. May did not recap that for us. Okay. Anyway, this is why she's an unreliable narrator. Okay, so then once she's presented with the phone, all the happiness drains from Uma's face, and she sounds really small and unsteady when she asks, how come May has your number, Paul? And I have to point out the difference in the tone with which says this, because again, she sounds like kind of scared. Versus in May's memory, sounded really authoritative because in May's memory, she calls Paul and she's like, "Hey, Paul, I'm just worried about And then nothing until Oom's voice, very cold, is like, "Why do you have her number, Paul?" Like it sounded very aggressive, but like that is not this scene, okay? Because they were happy and being playful, and then Oom's like, why is May calling you?" Like she sounds hurt, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Not
but
angry.
she's got to be confused too. Be like,
Of course.
how, what?
How, who, what, where, when, and why. I need nouns, sir. Yeah, I don't
But
blame her. This is kind of weird.
um, I just feel for Paul because it
Yeah.
has to be a gut punch to hear that your wife texted her side piece on the day of your wedding. Like,
Absolutely.
one day couldn't be just for them.
Yep. I know.
Like, seriously,
I know.
you could have
Seriously.
done all this shit the day before.
I don't know why it
Or,
had to
you know, the
be
day after,
the
okay?
wedding.
You know, just like the wedding. Be in the moment for the wedding, at least. Give him that.
This is where I can't defend Oom. I can't defend Oom when it comes to why at the wedding, after the wedding, did we do this? Like, to your point, it's not like you surprised you're married. Like, this was a scheduled event well in advance. Like, you had a deadline. This is procrastination at its finest, right? Because, like, you had a deadline and you ignored the deadline. And, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh my God,
Yeah.
yeah. Like, come on, girl. Like, you could have done this yesterday. Like, I don't know. I understand, like, I understand her motivation for waiting till the last minute because, again, like, it's going to be very apparent in this scene that she's not emotionally over May. And so, like, it hurts her, and I get that, but, like, why at the wedding? I don't understand that. I never will. That was really weird. I feel like it was just, like, drama. Like, the writers were just like, Chow, the writers are just going for drama here, but it doesn't actually make any fucking sense.
Sometimes that's just the answer.
Yeah, sometimes, like,
Is that
drama.
it's the writer's fault.
It's just that, yeah, it's like everything that happens in the L word. It doesn't fucking make any sense. It was literally there for just drama. And you could predict what those writers were gonna do, not by what made sense, by what would be most dramatic. That was how they would write everything on that show.
That's
Not,
how you got Jenny.
that's how you got Jenny Schechter. That's how you get the reboot Gen Q.
Yeah.
You're just like, I remember watching that and being like, oh, will they, won't they? And it's like, whatever's most dramatic is what's going to happen. It's not who loves who. It's what is the most dramatic scenario out of this triangular situationship. That's what's going to happen. That's exactly what they did. It's like, that very famously doesn't make any fucking sense. They're just going for drama. Anyway. Okay. So, all right, I just got to point that out that Oom is not unfeeling in this scenario. She's very much feeling stuff, you know? And she seems kind of hurt, confused, to your point. And so she asked Paul, why does May have your number? And with a straight face, Paul shakes his head in a silent, I don't know. And it's like, sir, we all saw you, thanks to May, meet with her in person prior to your wedding. So,
Now who's lying?
yeah, please explain to the jury how that happened, okay? How did you meet May? There had to be some kind of phone call. There had to be some kind of connection. So, again, you're lying to Oom also in this scene. It's like we can't free ourselves of the lies. No matter how much we want to.
He's justifying it because he's like, well, she always lies to me. So, like, I can lie this once.
Either that, yeah, that's valid. Or he's, like, resigned. He's like, I'm tired of this. I don't even know anymore, Oom. Like, how did we get here? It's that resignation of just like, I don't even know anymore. I don't know. I'm tired. It could be that.
Yeah.
Because he definitely gets
drunk.
there.
He's like, I don't remember anything right now.
Also, I'm drunk. This is not the time to ask me for logic. Yeah.
How did they get here if he was drunk? Like, did he drive them here?
I would like to hope that they didn't do any fucking driving today and they had a chauffeur from the venue that drove them home.
That would make sense.
Because, like, it would make sense that their car would just be at their house versus, like, he drove it.
Does. Okay, very good.
That's what I'm hoping. Because, like, again, money, get a limo. I don't know what the custom is there. But, like, yeah.
That's true.
Or if you're Big Nung, you get a taxi. You fucking leave that bitch early. That's the only wedding I've seen where they leave, and it was one of them leaving in a getaway taxi. So, like, that's my frame of reference, which is not helpful. I'm aware.
Oh, God. It's all coming back. All right. Continue.
All right. So after Paul's like, I don't know why she's calling me or why I have her number or what the hell's happening, Oom stares at the phone for a hot minute before she talks to May. And I think she's scared, to be honest, to pick up this phone because Yes, she texted May earlier, but texting somebody is a lot easier emotionally than hearing that person's voice and talking to them. So I think is scared to actually talk to May and hear her voice because that can bring back emotions she doesn't want right now. So I
It'll
feel
be harder to let her go.
correct. It's going to bring back emotions she's trying not to deal with on her wedding night, even though we've caused this scenario ourselves. You put us all here. I'm sorry. Okay. And then in front of Paul, we get the retelling of and May's last conversation, where admits that she still has not broken up with May and that she sent I to go do it after she married Paul. And clearly this upsets Paul, as it should. But what upsets him the most is when says, she gets to the end of this conversation and she's like, do your thing, get I, don't get I, but I don't want to know anything about your love life, May, from here on out. And I think the reason that this particular line upsets Paul more than anything is because people only say that when they are not over that person. Okay? And Paul is smart enough to clock that. And also, he is staring at and is clearly upset right now because this is why she didn't call May in the first place. This is why she texted May, because hearing this and saying these words is actively breaking her heart for the millionth time.
Is literally breaking down as she tells May that she is releasing her. And
Yes.
Paul's left there to watch his wife be emotional over another woman. Like, on their wedding night. That sucks.
Yes. It does. It really does. Uh-huh.
I
So
have
yeah,
more, but we have to get to it.
justice for Paul, because to have to hear this is really fucked. And like, I really don't know. I guess like he did know that was he was the side piece, really. Because that was the conversation between May and Paul, was like Paul knew that from May that wouldn't let her go. But May was like, oh, this is out of revenge because she's trying to punish me. And that's all this is, Paul. There's no love between us. That's what May told him. And
Mhm.
Paul, sweet puppy dog, sweet Nick Nelson Paul, believed May at face value because he doesn't know May. And then here's the evidence to the absolute contrary, because looks heartbroken. It really looks like is still in love with this person, and wasn't doing this to hurt the person. Right? Like,
Mhm.
imagine you're Paul and you're just like, oh, this is a revenge dating. That's not how this reads this moment, is it? No. So the math isn't mathing, and I think he's coming to some kind of realization to be like, oh, this was a lot. This was deeper than I thought it was, kind of thing.
Well, yeah, that's how we get this whole night because,
Totally.
like, all these emotions, like, all like, this realization is hurting him so much,
Uh-huh.
and it just compounds because it literally is his wedding night, and it's supposed to be one of his happiest days.
Although, yeah,
And
listen.
he thought he just won. He's like, "I married her. She's
Yes.
mine."
Correct. Yeah, no, I
And
won.
she's still not his.
Right. Emotionally. Legally,
Emotionally. Legally.
they are bound together. Emotionally, she is not yours, and that has been the issue the whole time. Okay. But just going back to their the conversation with and May. So that was what they was said, but how was it said? So like again, to contrast to May's memory of this situation, hearing say it, there's no malice in voice. Okay? That's what May remembered. But in fact, voice in this scene when she's saying it sounds a lot more emotional. The longer she talks to May, the more emotional she gets. And when she hangs up the phone, she looks like she's lost in thought, like she's mentally miles away from Paul right now. And Paul knows that. Like, this is not like, this cannot be the first time something like this has happened where, like, gets triggered by something about May. It doesn't have to be she's talking to May. She just gets triggered because, again, I empathize with a lot. This is why I'm super biased towards because I've been emotionally in the situation where she's in, where, like, I was, like, working. I worked at a pizza place, and something triggered me, and I started crying as I'm making pizza. Like, it's one of those things where it's like it's uncontrollable. When it hits you, and there's like nothing you can do about it. So like I get where she's coming from. So with Paul, this cannot be the first time they were together and she seemed fine, and then suddenly something triggered her and she got really upset. Because like she's been going actively grieving this breakup, this situation with May, like the entire time she's known him. And if you look at him here, he looks incredibly disappointed. And like to your point, like again, to be fair to Paul, like yes, we're empathetic towards but like also empathetic towards Paul because like to your point, he's like, can we have one day that's just about us? But it's like she can't control her emotions. Anyway, okay. So now that has been appropriately triggered, she starts crying, and her phone is now charged enough for her to use it. So decides that now is the time on her wedding night, after talking to May, now is the time to erase everything about May on her phone. Okay? And it seems crazy when you put it that way because it is. This is all crazy. We must never forget that. But why now? Why is now the time to erase these everything about May? Like we've had 2 years. Why are we here now at the wedding night after this conversation with May? And I think this is because has officially let May go. And May's gonna go get I and move on real fast. Let's be real. So that's why now has done the thing. She has let May go, and so she's making the break. But like, why erase everything? Because like when people break up, they don't always like just burn the evidence. You know what I mean? Why is like, no, right now, while I'm actively grieving, I'm fresh in the I'm cutting ties with you thing. Why erase everything? Because I think it's too painful for to keep. Like it is like you can see it on every aspect of her body language, her voice, everything. It's too painful for her. And again, from Paul's point of view, who is watching this is breakup behavior from the partner that still has feelings for the other person. So I think that Paul is really like getting a fresh dose of reality that perhaps he never saw the full extent of all of this when it really came to May and because he's seen pieces of be upset. He's been there for while she was crying and got her through the crying, and then like went and confronted May, and May was like, no, it's not love, it's just this is revenge. And he's like, okay, weird, but sure, I'll love her enough for the both of us, it's fine. And then like he gets to the wedding and he's like, finally we're legally married because Disney taught me that marriage solves everything. And it doesn't. It's just a legal document. And then now he's here and he's like, well, fuck, nothing I did made a difference, did it? Like this was deeper than I thought. You're not over her, like still, which is a lot for him to have to process. Because I feel like he never fully actually processed it. Because like I don't think he had all the puzzle pieces until now to put that together.
That's fair.
Yeah,
because
from his point of view,
can't. Honestly, like this whole time it was just a competition for him. He's just like, I need to love show her that I'm always there, and like one day she will love me the way I love her. And I guess he was hoping by marrying her, and like by the time that they got married, that meant that loved him back.
Right. He loved him most.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like again, to reiterate your point, like while is erasing all the evidence of May, Paul is processing the fact that his wife just broke up with her side piece, who was actually number one in her heart, and she can't seem to emotionally let this person go, despite saying on the phone that she was letting May go. And that's a lot for a sober person to process, let alone a drunk person. I'm just saying.
True.
Okay. So
I don't know
he
how he's dealing with any of this right now drunk.
listen, I don't either. But he's weird. It's Casol behavior. He's weirdly stupid about it, and then he's also kind of wise because Paul then watching all this very astutely points out the root of this issue where he says like basically you're trying to distance yourself from her, erase her from your all tangible memories, but he says there's one place you can't escape, May, your own heart. And that is the blunt truth. And knows that is the truth because she drops her head in defeat and closes her eyes and starts crying more. And speaking from experience, again, this is why these episodes are so long, because I understand here. What is going through with May is a very specific type of emotional hell. It's very specific, and I very much empathize with her. Because if you think about the 2-year journey that they've been on after May's accident till now, has been distancing herself from May. Well, I mean, after she found out about the twin thing, but again, the reason reason I bring the hospital as like my time point is because like went back because she wanted to support May and was trying to motivate her to like get back to the way she was, like the person she fell in love with, that kind of crap, by becoming her villain origin story essentially. And so like in that interim where she's like, you need to do this, complete my challenge or I won't let you go kind of thing, like has been keeping herself at a distance from May and only coming back at pivotal points, right? And when she's been away like long enough from May, because before that they were together all the time, they were like dating, like they were much more close proximity, and then it's like suddenly you're like away from this person, right? And that distance kind of helps emotionally like curb the emotions. And so when she's away from May physically, that gave her enough, like for long enough periods of time, that gave the space not to think about May or feel anything about May. And it's in those moments that she can be emotionally intimate with Paul. Like, think about the wedding. Like, May was nowhere near that wedding. Yeah, May texted but she never heard anything back. So, like, it gave her time and space to, like, not have any intrusive May thoughts or intrusive May emotions. So we can get to this cute little moment where they're together. Like this scene and the proposal scene, that's another one where Paul proposes. That's a great example of one of those moments that that was not tainted by her past with May at all, because there was no interference from May. There were no intrusive May thoughts during that memory. That was a pure memory of just and Paul. And it was evident in those scenes that like they did have some kind of connection going on, and like was emotionally invested as much as she could be in those moments. It was a happy memory, one that like got her memories back. So it didn't mean something. It's not that she's like super indifferent to Paul. It's just like, basically has been running and hiding from her heartbreak for a really long time. And then when she's confronted with so it means that she hasn't fully processed it, because it's hard to do and it's something that cannot be done all at once. It takes a lot of time when you're in deep the way she is. And so when she's confronted with it and triggered by May like memories or emotions from it, is not strong enough to fully move past it. Like it keeps wearing her down, kind of thing. And if you've never been through this, congratulations. I hope you never have to. There's someone else you might be familiar with that truly understands how feels right now, and that is Taylor Swift. If you've listened to the song All Too Well, that is my favorite song ever, my favorite song by her also. It's because it's this scenario, and the emotions that she writes about are so real to this. So that song in general is about struggle, and particularly this line. It gets me every time. And I forget about you long enough to forget why I needed to. That's right? Where she's not thinking about May, she's not having emotions about May, and then here's May calling her, and here it just comes all back. Like, and it's just she can't control this. It's just like, I forgot about you long enough to forget why I needed to forget about you. It's because I fall apart when I think about you, when these feelings come back. And like that's what Paul's witnessing. And he's like, shit, I didn't know it was this bad, basically.
Oh, it's bad, Paul. It's real bad. Remember that May got invited to the wedding?
Yep. How in the fuck was that supposed to go down, Oom?
Could you imagine if she actually showed up?
Could you imagine how like, girl? No, seriously.
She would be crying saying, "I do."
I don't know that she would have went through. Yeah, what was that supposed to like? I understand that was supposed to, like, in the novel that was like a gloating thing or I'm moving on kind of thing. In the show, I don't really understand what U's motivation for that was because you never get scenes about like why she did it. But yeah, was this like Chow wrote it? Was this a Juan Viva move from a fair where she's like, I'm hoping she invites Playing to
Or
the wedding and she's like, I'm hoping Playing shows up so I could ditch this man and just marry her instead. And I was like, girl, what? Like, was that oops? It couldn't have been.
or
Chow wrote
or
it.
did Paul invite her, being like, "Watch me win."
He doesn't strike, at least the way they wrote Paul here, he doesn't strike me as the
I know.
jealous, vindictive type. In the book, yes, but like in here, Paul did have her number, so like who knows? Or maybe he was like he wrote on the back and he's like, she's moving on, thanks, May. Like,
Don't actually come.
don't actually come. Yeah. It was like there's some like caveat on that. It's like this is not a real invitation. It's like samples written on it. You know what I mean? But anyway, pause now and go listen to All Too Well and then come back and watch the scene and tell me that's not what's happening here because it is. Okay. So then, while cries her eyes out, Paul turns and heads towards the door. And this makes panic, and she asks, "Where are you going?" And so, is she scared of losing Paul, or is she scared of being alone? Where's her fear coming from there?
That's a good question. She's scared of being alone because she can't lose everybody at once.
I think it's both, to be honest. Because we'll get to Oom's dialogue when we get in the car. I think it's both. But, yeah. Let me know what you think in the comments. Was Oom scared of being alone or scared of losing Paul? Both or another option? I will take other options if you want to fanfic off that. I'm curious. Okay, so then Paul assures that she has nothing to worry about. He still loves her despite all this fuck shit, which is amazing. And then he just wants to give her some time with, and he trails off and gestures towards holding the phone. And I think what he's not saying is the unspoken word to deal with your heartbreak, your breakup.
Okay. All right. Although this dude knows that like May can't be erased from Oom's heart. Like she's trying to erase her, but it's not working. Like he tells her that he isn't going anywhere and is trying to give her time. I need this dude to go to therapy to learn boundaries because you do not
Yes,
have to take this dude. Like protect yourself too. Like this is not good for you.
it is not.
You do not have to stay. But like to his credit, he is starting to learn that he can't just make everything go the way he wants. Like is not over May, and it's completely understandable that his heart hurts so much that he feels like he is dying. I'm pretty sure that's the next line. Um, but anyway, also great foreshadowing on the writer's part.
Yes, we will get to that, but you're correct.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, all valid. So Paul fights back his tears, and poor can't hold his gaze because she knows the situation isn't fair to him either. It's not that she's ignorant of that, it's not that she gaslights him. She's aware. She's in an impossible situation, and then he also willingly put himself in this situation. There's only so much empathy I have for Paul because he was like, he's very aware of this, and then he's like, I'll just love her enough for the both of us. And it's like, sir, like, no, like, yeah, like, it's like, what? You knew this was gonna end poorly. Anyway, so sure. And then Paul says, I used to hate seeing you cry. Past tense. Past tense. I used to. I used to hate seeing you cry. I don't anymore, okay? Because it broke my heart. But now you're crying because you love someone else. Now you're crying because you love someone else? Sir, why did you think she was crying back then? She is crying for the same reason now that she's been
She
crying the
she was
whole
just
show.
emotional.
What do you mean?
She was on her period. It
What?
was fine.
Seriously, what was he thinking? You're probably right. He's like, oh, she's on her she's having her women's time of the month. Like, what the hell was he thinking?
She's just an emotional person.
Women are just
We watched
emotional.
a sad movie. I
What?
don't know.
What the fuck? Like, what did he like? Ah, man. And I will say this, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think part of the problem here is that Paul watched too many Disney movies as a kid, okay? And I think he firmly Disney lies to you because it's for children and it oversimplifies life, which is not simple. And I think he firmly believed that if Oom married him, then the curse of May would be lifted and somehow she would love him. It'd be like, the prince kissing the princess and she wakes up from the coma. I think that's what he thought marriage was. And it's like, sir, marriage is a legal document, not an antidote. And I really need more people to understand that Disney is purely fiction and not real life. And like, if you've seen the latest season of Stranger Things, they nailed this message so hard. And as the one thing I really love about this season, there's a lot of fucking things wrong with it, but like they nailed the like, I thought marriage was gonna fix our situation, but it was gonna make it worse. Actually, like, yes, now you guys are legally bound to each other. Like, it's not an antidote. And you watch too many Disney movies. Have you
Could
seen
be.
Stranger Things, Caitlin?
No, I've never seen it at all. I
What?
have no idea.
Such a good show.
I haven't seen a single second of it.
It got
That's a
really
lie.
it got really gay this season.
It did?
Yeah, I mean it's always been
Nice.
gay, but it
Oh,
got
I didn't know that.
explicitly gay. Yeah.
Love it.
Fun
Gotta
fact.
watch it.
If you'd like us to do a recap, not a recap, but a little overview of Stranger Things, let us know. But especially the gay stuff. Okay.
Probably
All
should
right.
do that.
Mhm.
Probably should do that.
The problem is it's really long to watch it.
I know.
Yeah, we
I could just binge it.
probably should, but
and-
I don't know that we can realistically do it. Okay. Anyway, so then it cuts to who still can't look at Paul, and she looks like her heart is breaking all over again. And then Paul says, to your point, it's a very famous last words where he says, "My heart hurts so much that it feels like I'm dying." So besides the irony of that line, he is describing exactly how feels too, because like, just look at her. She like that honestly is how that type of heartbreak feels. It feels like you are actively dying. I said it's a type of emotional hell. It's awful. And then Paul exits the scene for real. And without a second's hesitation, runs after him. The only thing she does is like grab her phone and her purse and runs out of there. Because I think that Oom's fear of losing Paul in that moment overrid any type of heartbreak over May. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like one of those actions speak louder than words situation.
Mhm.
Okay, so then she runs outside, and Paul is drunkenly getting into the car and gets into the driver's seat. Drunk, sad, with nowhere to go, and declares that she's gonna go with him, wherever the fuck that's gonna be. And nobody is okay in the scene. And nobody is rational in the scene. This scene is proof that emotions are the worst.
Okay, see, because why does go with him? Because he's been drinking. Why does not get in the driver's seat?
That's an amazing question that I can't answer. Because nobody's okay and nobody's rational. Here's the deal. She's having heartbreak to the point where she feels like she's dying. He feels like he's dying. Nobody should be driving a car right now. Nobody.
No, but like, especially him. Like, why would you get in a passenger seat with someone you know is drunk? Like, because the only thing that could happen is that they crash and you die.
I mean, as somebody who's driven in the car with drunk people, sometimes you're fine. But like, because you overestimate, you're overly
Do not
confident.
listen to Theora.
Don't listen. I didn't say this was life advice. I just said, because you're again, nobody's okay in the scene. Nobody's thinking rationally. This is a very emotional scene that doesn't make any fucking sense because emotions don't make any fucking sense. That's why they're doing this. But to your point, if somebody had a brain cell in this scene, A, they wouldn't get in the car, and B, Paul would not be the one in the driver's seat when they leave the property. You're right.
Yeah, but then Paul wouldn't have any control over the situation, just like he has no control over this relationship right now.
Right, that's
So
why he's
he
trying
would
to
not
drive.
feel any better.
They should have just gone on a walk
Ugh, seriously.
instead of in a car. Like, they could have walked around their giant neighborhood or wherever the fuck they live. Let's be real. They live in a mansion. Like, you can't just go on a walk around your gated community. Like, do the rich people's version of driving away. Just walk around.
Oh my gosh.
All right. But anyway, that is what they did. And then we transition to Oom and Paul's last car ride. And Paul asks Oom why she came with him. And Oom states she didn't want him to go alone. And I think that Oom is projecting because she was upset and did not want to be alone. Or Oom was afraid Paul was going to skip town and go out for milk and like never come back. You know what I mean?
I have a question, and this is
Yes.
not related to this at all. It just relates to what you just said. Is going out for milk and never coming back a universal thing, or is that just an American thing? Like, oh, your dad went out to get milk and then you never came back.
Or he goes out to get cigarettes. Well, milk is not something that
Yeah.
is universally drunk around the world, so it can't be milk. But Dad went out to purchase something and never came back.
Yeah. So, like,
Like
let us
cigarettes
know
was
if
a
that's a
thing.
thing
Yeah.
or not a thing in your country.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm just curious now.
But notice it's always Dad.
Or is there a country where it's mom?
Is Mom getting her independence? Hashtag feminism. Okay, anyway. All right, so Paul laughs and he's like, okay, so now you're suddenly worried about me? You, the person that called her ex on her wedding night, you still care about her? Yeah, that's real rich. Boom. And his line is really giving, how could you do this to me after all this time? Honestly, this is a very like flip gendered situation because usually it's like poisonous love shit where it's like the man is the two-timer and like the women are like, how could you do this to me? But it's like Paul is the mistress. He's like, how could you do this to me? It's wrong no matter who's
But
doing it, but it's just
he's
interesting.
actually blaming the person who did it.
Correct.
Whereas in Poisonous Love, they blamed
The wrong
the
person.
women blamed each other.
The women blamed each other because patriarchy. Yeah, the women blamed each other, not the two-time whore cheating man. Yeah, exactly.
The serial cheater.
The serial cheater. Yeah. Okay. Anyway. All right. And then we transition to my favorite part of the scene. Because before Paul said this, Oom was real quiet and lost in thought. Before he's like, how could you do this to me? And then once he calls her out for still having feelings for May, she snaps and says, what do you want me to do? I don't want to be like this. If possible, I'd want to only have feelings for you. And if you listen to Oom, she sounds so exhausted and fed up because this emotional purgatory she's in is exhausting. Okay? And particularly that line, I don't want to be like this. Like that right there is the truth of this. I'm like, girl, I feel you so much on this because emotions like this cannot be controlled, especially when you're like processing like a big loss. Like you just get triggered over and over and over and over again until eventually you work through it. But like again, that timetable is not set in stone. You don't know how long it's going to take you. Like again, I will constantly go back to like Pang and Officer Hottie. Like that didn't take 2+ years for that everybody to get over that. It like took time, but not that much time. But like here's Oom going through something similar, but it's like it's taking her longer. Like she cannot flip a switch and magically be over May, no matter how much. But she clearly wants to. She's like, you think I want to feel like this all the time? I don't. Like it just keeps happening. And like we've seen Oom in moments like try to move on and like move past this, but there's something about May that keeps pulling her back in. There's something about that relationship that she's like cannot get past for some reason. And I have to guess, if I had to guess really what it was, I think there's a part of Oom, a part of her subconscious or conscious, most likely subconscious, that cannot let May go. Like, there's a part of that wants May to be the one that loves her. And I think that's what festers, and that's how we kind of get this river scene in the present. And there's a part of also, I think, that replays the relationship and can't figure out where she went wrong in it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a part of deeply, deeply hurt that May loves I more than her because of her whole life. Despite the fact that, to your point, Caitlin, May doesn't actually know I, and she knows
I just don't get it.
And there is a part of that relates deeply to All Too Well by Taylor Swift. And I'm going to give you the lines because, like, that song is literally about this, okay? Where's at right now? Time won't fly. It's like I'm paralyzed by it. I'd like to be my old self again before the relationship, but I'm still trying to find it. Like, that's headspace. She's like, you think I want to be like this? I'm trapped in this. I would like to go back in time and be how I used to be before I met her, my old, happy, lovable self. But I can't seem to find that person anymore. It's like that relationship changed forever, whether she wanted to or not. And, like, bottom line is that, like, is stuck in the past. So continue the rest of the song. And maybe we got lost in translation. Maybe I asked for too much. That's trying to figure out, where did I go wrong? But maybe it wasn't because maybe this thing was a masterpiece till you tore it all up. Like, this is trying to reconcile, like, why May doesn't love her. Why does May love I more than me? Even though deep down is resigned to the fact that, like, people just love I more than her. That's just fate or whatever. But it's just, in this relationship, it's really bothering her super deeply when it comes to May, like, more than anybody else. And it's like she's tormenting herself on some level with these things that in her brain or emotionally don't add up. And it's like, it's exhausting. And, like, nobody, like, she's like, I don't want to be like this. If I could turn off all these emotions and just love you, I would. But, like, for some reason, they won't fucking leave me. Like, I love that part where she says this because it's such a real thing. It's so real. Hence how you get the song by Taylor Swift, because, like, this happens. Like, when you're very deeply going through something emotionally, it takes forever to process and you're very deeply hurt. Like, it feels like this.
And boy, does it hurt, because we get a whole 10-minute version of this song.
Because it's fucking real, man. Go listen to it. Or, like, read the lyrics. Like, it's just that's the best emotional, just like the way she wrote that song was just, like, the best way to describe what feeling. Like, it's the best. I connect with it every time I hear that song because I've been there and I know what that feels like. It's just, that is how it feels.
It's also just a good song.
It's
like
also
tune.
a very good song. But anyway, thank you, Caitlin.
Sorry, that was my contribution. I can't relate.
It's okay. Can. Okay, so after admits she only wants to love him, Paul takes his eyes off the road for an extended amount of time to stare at which is dangerous as fuck. Yes, but also romantic. Because he can't believe she just admitted that she wants to love only him. And, like, I feel like he's waited the entire relationship to hear say that. You know what I mean? So I think it was romantic, but also dumb, and also he's drunk.
There's so many factors here.
You just gotta give people credit where you see stuff, even if it's dumb. But Paul is at his breaking point with being the side piece, honestly. So he flat out asks, if you could go back in time, basically, and do this all over again, who would you choose, her or me?
Her.
So this is Paul giving an ultimatum in a similar way that gives I and May the ultimatum at the end of this episode. Okay. So Paul and stare at each other for an extended period of time. And sighs and then looks away and notices there's a car headed straight towards them. And that's when the accident that takes Paul's life happens. So here's the deal. Never answers Paul about if you could go back in time, would you do this all over again? So, who do you think that she would choose? Do you think she would choose May?
Yeah. Well, I would if she could just completely forget about May, if she would choose Paul. But if we're going back in time and still having May be in her life, it would be May.
That's a good answer. Like truly, like I think we would have some follow-up questions because like I think if she could turn her feelings off, like it was one of those things, if you can go back in time, knowing everything that you know, and if she could turn her feelings off when it comes to the heartbreak stuff, if that went away, I think she would have picked Paul and never involved herself with May in the first place.
Yeah,
Because Paul
because like she knows that it wasn't supposed to be her. So like she'd be like, okay, well I can have Paul. Just leave that shit behind.
Cause like yeah, like cause like Paul, what she's saying right now, she's like, I've been through all this. I've been through the heartbreak. May doesn't really love me despite everything. May's never gonna love her. So like to go back and choose May, she would end up right where she is right now. But if she could turn all this shit off and just pick Paul, then she would be safe, have somebody who clearly loves her more than anybody else, which is like what she wanted in a relationship. Like the problem with the relationship with Paul is that the feelings for May can't be turned off, and she's having a really hard time processing them. And it's turning her into somebody that she isn't, hence like trying to find my old self again, but I'm still trying to find it kind of thing. Like she just can't go back to who she was. So I think if she could go back to who she was, knowing how all of this would play out, I think she'd pick Paul. Or nobody. Like I don't want any of you.
Pick Officer Hattie.
I personally would like her to go back in time and get pulled over for a traffic ticket, and it's Officer Hottie that pulls her over.
Oh my god, can you imagine that love story?
I really can imagine their love story. I can.
Oh, that'd be great.
It would be great.
All right. Something I want to point out with the car accident is that Paul puts his arm across Oom to protect her. And like, even when he knows that Oom probably wouldn't have chose him, he still chose to use his last moments of life to try and protect Oom.
He did.
But also, dude, like, you took your hands off the wheel when you were supposed to be driving. Like, no wonder you are dead. I'm just saying. And I freeze again, yeah.
Everybody froze.
It
was
Did you
that,
hear me?
but also, dude, and then it froze. Now I can hear you and see you.
Okay, well, I said, but also, dude, you took your hands off the wheel.
He sure did.
When you were supposed to be driving. Like, no wonder you're dead.
He also took his eyes off the road when he was supposed to be driving more than once.
Like, you're supposed to, like, grip it for dear life and, like, try to, like, get yourself back on track. No, he was just like, let's steer to the side. Protect. Ooh.
His drunk instincts could only get him so far, Caitlin.
Yeah, I guess. That's why you don't drive drunk, people. Just saying.
That's why you shouldn't drive drunk, tired, or overly emotional.
Sometimes being emotional can't be helped, though.
Then you pull that car over. Wait till it passes. Okay, so after the recollection of the car accident, we then get back to the present, and Oom is crying on the ground. And she says, Paul is dead. The only person who ever loved me is dead. Because once again, Oom is living out Taylor Swift's All Too Well, because she's a crumpled up piece of paper lying here because she remembers it all too well.
All too well.
Yes.
I would like to point out that no one corrects her when she says this. Like May, come on. Like, you didn't once love her at all. You did ask her to be your girlfriend.
May was in love with the concept of Oom, as in Oom, the teenager that saved her from bullies, not Oom, the person.
And again, I could have said, I love you, sister. I'm just saying.
We don't say we love each other enough in this show. It's another like life lesson. Maybe say that more to people you actually care about. They won't end up like this. Cautionary tale.
Theora, I love you.
I love you too. I love you all out there.
Yes.
Please don't get to this point.
We both love you so much.
Because you feel unloved. You are loved. Okay, but going back to what Oom says. Notice that Oom says the person
Froze again.
I love is dead, and I
Damn.
miss. Notice that I'm sorry, everything just froze.
Daniel?
What is happening?
I was going to make myself laugh until it gets back.
No, it's back now.
No, you're not back from me yet. There you go. A little bit. Nope. Yeah.
Better?
What is going on today?
I don't know.
Let me just double check mine. My internet has been kind of sucky
Yeah,
recently.
you froze for me.
Are you frozen again?
Okay. I'm just gonna pause this.
Bullshit, man. Well, I'll have a snack.
Fuck.
Where are you? I miss you. Come back to me. Blame it all on me.
Going back to what said, notice she says, the only person who ever loved me is gone. She doesn't say the person I love is dead and I miss him. She says the person who loved me. So I really think that, like, with Paul, like, I think that had trouble connecting with him fully and stuck around because of the concept of Paul more than Paul the person, because he loved her so much. And like, both of the twins have been consistently seeking somebody that loves them for who they are, kind of deal, and like puts them above other people. I think she was in love with that in the same way that like May at the beginning of their relationship with she was in love with the concept of not the person based on the interaction she had with Ioun that she thought was So again, this is one of those examples of the show really much playing with that whole concept of like, what does love mean? And like, it's possible to be in love with the concept, not the actual human being. Same thing with like the throuple situation with like Officer Hottie and Pang. And it's like, Officer Hottie, were you in love with Pang or the concept of Pang? You know what I mean? Like, we don't know because we Pluto her in the show and we don't get enough of her, but like that we could have explored that also in the throuple situation.
We could explore it a lot.
Could explore a lot, but we don't.
Nope.
All right. So here we are. We all gathered here today by this river with May, I, and because blames Paul's death on May. This is a flashback to the novel. Because if May hadn't contacted Paul behind back, then May would not have had Paul's number. And if she hadn't had Paul's number, then she would not have called Paul on their wedding night, which led to the drunk driving. And that's what is saying. That's not me. That is what is saying. And it's like, it's not untrue, because May was the catalyst for Paul's death in the series and in the novel. And this is not the first body that's indirectly linked to May's actions. But girl, you had a side piece during your wedding. Like, this is where you lost me as the ally for you. Like, you still had a side piece at the wedding. You text said side piece at the wedding. You take your sister and you're like, go get my side piece at the wedding.
Yeah. Okay. Is wrong for blaming May for Paul's death because Paul was drinking. Paul was the one driving. Yeah, he was hurt and left because still had feelings for May, but it was him behind the wheel when it happened, and May had nothing to do with that. And like, one
in the series,
yeah,
you're correct.
One could argue that it was fault because she couldn't get over May. Just saying.
No, you could definitely argue that. You can also argue, again, that May is the catalyst. Everybody's right and everybody's wrong, basically, kind of thing. And I think this scene, the way we get this scene is because it's a GMMTV version of the novel where like May does show up to confront Paul aggressively and he tries to run her over and then swerves him out of the way at the last minute, and that was the car crash. So I think because this dialogue comes from the novel where she's like, you killed him because you had to come meddle. we were all meddling. All of us meddled. All of us we are gathered here today because of this is the consequences of all of our actions. It's everybody made this mess. And like now we're like at the breaking point and the consequences are coming into fruition. Paul is dead. Is losing it. And May's being held hostage. Like we're here because we all fucked up, basically. And we are all trapped in this cycle of just hurting each other. And it's endless. It's like over and over. We've been trapped in this cycle for like 2 years. And now we got a body. Okay. We're about to have more bodies because we're here at the place where we can all be together forever. Like, never forget that creepy line. Okay.
Never forget.
Never forget. Okay. But don't worry, Oom's not done rationalizing all of this because she says this is also May's fault because May made Oom fall in love with her. And she would still be in love with Paul and wouldn't have lost him if it wasn't for May. And like, that sounds insane, but I think it's supposed to translate to Oom would be able to love Paul fully if it wasn't for her heartbreak over May. But the way it's worded comes out as Oom is gaslighting May. Where she's saying, like, look what you made me do, May. Like, that's what it sounds like to me. And it's like, it's not May's fault. It's not May's fault, okay, that Oom fell in love with May. That's not May. We've seen May be fucking smooth and charming. Like, it's not Oom, and she's a successful, hot lawyer. Like, who wouldn't want that? She's great, looks great on paper. Like, yeah, Oom, we get you, girl. So it's not your fault that you fell in love with a hot lawyer. Like, it's not your fault. The problem is that this is Oom's inability to emotionally move on and heal. Like, that is the actual issue. But Oom is irrationally placing the blame on the subject of her feelings, which is May. Like, this is like a moment of emotional deregulation for Oom. This is like childish, irrational behavior because she's not mentally well right now, everyone. She's not mentally okay.
No,
She's
not at all.
okay. Not at all. And I would argue she has been for a really long time, hence getting in the car with a drunk person and being like, I'm just going to sit here while you drive. I don't think she's been okay for a really long time, okay? And it's like, she doesn't realize she needs help, but she needs help. Okay. The other thing is, though, I think that part of what Oom is so devastated about and what this part of the scene is really about is that in her mind, May robbed her of her second chance at happiness. So in Oom brain, it's almost like May personally will not let Oom be happy. That is not what's happening. This is Oom's brain rationalizing this. And you know who might actually agree with this? That May personally will not let Oom be happy. I think Mima might actually be like, you know what, Oom, I think you got a point. Because again, why is it always you three? Anytime this person shows up, there's always some fuck shit and my granddaughters are crying. Like every time May comes up, one of the granddaughters is emotionally devastated. So I think Mima would be like, you know, I personally blame May.
And now they're both crying at the same time over the same person.
Mima would throw hands with May in this scene, I feel like. Anyway, poor Mima. Mima, who's like on the periphery but knows enough, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway. But that's what I think is going on with Oom. I don't think she is correct in this scene. I think this is just how she's rationalizing it because she's in a state of being irrational. Okay. And then Oom finally asks, what did I do wrong? And then finally May enters the chat and said, I did everything to protect you, but I ended up blind because of it. I was deceived and I got ditched over and over. And I just have to point it out. Leave it to May to turn Oom's suffering to something about herself. Sorry, yes, okay. I have to point this out every time it happens out because I can't unsee this behavior from her. I don't think that's what she meant, but it's just like, it's just another one of those instances going in that pile.
No, I point that out in a little bit too, in like a couple seconds. But like, May throwing the fact that she ended up blind by trying to protect Oom, like throwing that in her Oom's face is a low blow. Like, it was no more Oom's fault than it was May who caused Paul's accident. It's the same thing here.
Right, exactly. Does that mean that May secretly, the reason she hates Oom so much is that she was like, Oom's the reason I'm blind? Was she, like, you know, did she also harbor that towards Oom? Perhaps, on some level? Like, so, maybe.
Like, basically, May is proving that if the person that she was with was blind, she'd probably ditch him.
Oh my god, was that just projection from May this whole time? And I've just been reading it. Damn it, May, you had me fooled this whole time. I thought this was I being like, damn, my sister's the worst. But it was you projecting that onto all of us. Damn it, May. We did say we would defend May in this situation, and we're not doing a great job of it. I'm sorry,
Hey,
it's just so easy because there's so many
yeah,
instances.
no.
We will
No,
defend May, I
I
promise.
think that was all the May, things that I had in her favor.
No, I do. I have something to say about this, about May, and then film. First of all, I actually, let's just start with this. Give film an award for her performance in this scene. Like we know this is like one of her best scenes, like this whole scene, but like
Mhm.
even right here, like now, like I know it gets better later where she's in emotional devastation land, but like right now, her emotional breakdown in this part of the conversation is like tip of the iceberg of what she's gonna do. But I want to point out now just how raw her performance of May is. This whole scene, like it starts now, like you just like, ugh, like she is so powerful as an actor in this scene. It's like crazy. Like, well done, film. You did a great job in this whole scene. I mean, in
Yeah.
general, but like this particular scene is like award winning the way she does it. But when it comes to May, like it's true. Okay, so it's true. Like this whole situation kind of got off the rails, right? This was about like her trying to find true love, and then like comes back and like holds her hostage and this and that. And May is also like, you know what? I keep playing these chess games with you guys, with these fucking sisters, and no matter what, I also can't win, and I end up the loser of the situation. And she's not wrong because yeah, she compromised her morality with by taking on the Batman case, knowing because she loved quote even though she didn't. Which I do feel like maybe she resents because she's like, I do this shit for you, and you're not even the twin that I was in love with. But anyway, she did sacrifice in that moment for Like she sacrificed her reputation as a lawyer. We had that whole scene of her in the courtroom with the other lawyers like, you do realize what you're doing, right? And she's like, I was fucking know what I'm doing, bitch. If you just met me. Like, yeah, she knows what she's doing. She's not happy
Yeah.
about it, but she thought she had a good reason. She thought she was protecting somebody the way somebody once stood up for her. And she did end up blinded like way down the road as a result of like taking that case. So in a way, was the catalyst for her becoming blind in the same way that May was the catalyst for Paul's death. I'm not saying intention was there to do these things. I'm just saying like that's the spark that eventually led the fire, like kind of thing. It's just like a series of unfortunate events happens afterwards and like here's the result, right? As part of this
Mhm.
bigger picture kind of thing. And then she was deceived. I don't know what she fully means by that. Like, does she mean the fact it could mean a couple of things? Like she was deceived where she was like, I was in love with one twin, but not really, because it was supposed to be I didn't know you had a fucking twin. You never fucking told me. And then like it's the wrong, but I was in love, I wasted my time on the wrong person. And then like that person pretended to be you, and then she ditched me, and then she left me again for you. And then May's like, what the hell? Why am I trapped in the cycle of people never choosing me? Because like May and actually do have a lot in common, like not personality wise, but like character trait wise, they do, where like they're the ones that get defended by other people. They're the book nerds. They're the ones that get bullied by big, strong brutes like her father, the way Mint was bullying I really, but and as a result, right? And then also, like, they're never anybody's first choice, or they feel like they're never anybody's first
Mhm.
choice. Um, except when it comes to Ioun, and they're both warring for Ioun's ultimate affection, right? So they're
Aw.
actually quite similar
Aw,
when you really
man.
put it together. So, and they were both, like I said earlier in the episode, like they grew up kind of isolated in different ways. Like May was the princess trapped in the castle kind of thing who escaped into stories, whereas like was like trapped at home because she was afraid of getting sick and going to the hospital and accidentally killing people in her little brain. So they both didn't really have a lot of friends. They had like one ride or die. She had oh my god, I'm just going playing. She had Ploy and Khan by extension. And then like had Jan, and she had I until they formed a rift. Like, at least May had her blood relative that was on her side. Like, felt like she didn't because of the funeral. And so May's also pointing out that, like, I've been wronged also, and like nobody's pointing out my side of this story. It's also because May, like, this is the episode. For some reason, GMM2's like, let's put it all in one episode. And like, that's why we're focused on also. We could have spread this out. Like, we could have had her recover from the coma a few episodes earlier and like slowly got
Yeah.
into this, but we're all here now, May. That's why we're not super focused on you. You had 10 other episodes to tell us shit. Like, that's why we're
Yes.
here focused on So she has a point. She does. She's like, we've both been fucked over. She's not wrong. Okay. So then May turns to I and explains that, yeah, I kept getting fucked over, but then everything changed when Ioun came to me. But like, poor May can't even like savor that victory of like I coming to her, because like I was not there for her, really. I was there for because told I to go there and pretend to be and then I ends up rejecting May and leaving her because of which in summary means that I has actively chosen the
Mm-hmm.
whole time.
Yep.
That's what that means. So the little seed that planted in May's brain as like as like the motivator to be like, who's she gonna choose? A weakling like you who fucked her over, or her baby sister? And then May over and over again is like, wow, she keeps choosing Doesn't feel great for May.
Which I feel like does not listen to this. And we'll
Nope.
get to that.
No, she sure doesn't. Well, doesn't know what to believe. She's like, all you motherfuckers keep lying to me.
That's
Like,
true. That is
all
true.
of the other reason, was like, tell me whatever you want, May. I don't fucking believe you because you've proven to be an unreliable narrator. And lied to my face 3 times in a row the other day. So like, I don't know what is the truth. Back to what Nora said. What is the truth, everyone? Who knows?
No one knows.
You can't trust any of these bitches, mostly. All right, but the look on Ai's face when May is bawling really says it all, because it looks like the textbook definition of guilt. Like, if you were to open a dictionary and look up the word guilt, it's this face right here. This entire time, from Ai's point, again, nobody's talking about Ai, really, we're just making it about ourselves. Let's go back to Ioun, because like most of the series, most of this whole time, she's been doing what she thought was best for everyone else, and now it is literally blowing up in her face. And the people she cares about most are utterly devastated. And like, again, you could link that back to her actions. Because why are we here, Ioun? We are all here today because you decided to cosplay as a child, get into a fight. That's how we got. You're the one that like would have never met May, and we would have never been here. Like,
That's true.
we're here because of you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everybody's like tangled together because of the red strings of fate, or whatever you want to call it, because like everybody was each other's catalyst for their unhappiness in this moment, because we all kind of started orbiting and then hurting each other. Like, it wasn't the intention, but like that's what keeps kind of happening as a result of these interactions. You know what I mean?
We are gathered here today because I pretended to be her sister.
She did.
And
she
one
sure
thing
did.
led
Remember,
to another, and love blossomed, love failed, and love became confusing.
And there was death, and like a whole bunch of shit happened. Okay, but to sum up this conversation, May and are essentially both saying that their motivations for their actions were driven by, quote, their love for the other person. Like, basically why did she do what she did? She did it because she cared. She's like, I did what I did because I cared about you, May, and look what happened to me. And here's May in the conversation being like, well, I did what I did because I cared about you, and look at like what happened to me. And then I is off in the corner like, I did what I did because I cared about both of you, but let's not talk about what happened to me because you guys are duking it out. But that's basically this conversation. Everyone's like,
Mhm.
I got hurt because I was trying to help you. Spider-Man meme. That's this
Yeah.
conversation. Then May asks something that should have asked Mima and I after losing her memories was, has anyone here ever thought about what I want?
Okay. May's feelings are valid here, but we are once again seeing her make things about herself when
Yes.
she asked this.
I know. Yes, we are.
But to be
We
fair,
are. I know.
especially with the twins deciding everything because they think that is what is best, like, that's really what's happening here. Like, they both share this characteristics because they don't talk to people about what is going on, and they just try to sacrifice themselves because they think that is what is better for other people. They're like, "If I'm hurt by this, if I make things worse for myself, then that's has to be better for somebody else." And like that's obviously what we should do. And I will have to say, as I was typing this, I was slowly stopping because I was like, well, shit, I'm calling myself out here.
Yes, Caitlin.
And
Yes, go back and reread that and be like, this was stupid anytime, and be like, maybe I shouldn't do that.
I gotta print this out and put it on my wall.
You do. Yes.
But yeah.
See,
So
like, these bad traits are things that human beings do, and you
yeah.
can't fault them for it. It's just, we're just explaining what they're doing.
And it just like it also shows that it's easier to recognize it with other people. Like
Yes.
these characters are not recognizing their own bad traits because they can't see it. Like maybe
Correct.
once is realizing that I does the same thing. Maybe when I realize that is doing the exact same thing, that they can like get to a place where they're like, oh shit, I'm doing that too. It hurt me when she did that. Am I hurting everybody else because of that too?
Yeah, and I feel like gets there with therapy. I don't know about the other two, but for sure. But yeah, you're right, because they're trapped in the cycle of everybody's doing the same thing. Because like also May, it's not just the twins. You're correct about the twins, but it's also May because how again the catalyst for May's demise was because what happened? Was used as leverage by her father to get her to do the Batman case. And did May tell she was being threatened by her dad and like how bad it got and that he was trying to coerce her into doing this case? No, she didn't, because asks her about it and she's like, this is my business, stay out of it. So again, she did the same thing where she's like, I know this is the best for all of us and I'm just going to do it and not talk to you about it. So like May also does it too. It's like that I'm being noble and the protector kind of thing, but it's
Mhm.
like that sometimes backfires. It's backfiring. And again, like the intentions were there, like they were good intentioned, but like the outcome was not good. Like it just the way it happened, like it ended up hurting people as a consequence of that noble unilateral decision they were all kind of making. They're just, it's like this paternalistic thing where it's like, I'm in charge of this, I'm just going to make the decision, like, because I know what's best, and not involve the other person that's involved in this, for whatever the reason was. But like they all do it and it all ends up blowing up in their face, like eventually in the story.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're right. And like that's why fiction is a very powerful to what you said about like where it's easier to recognize bad traits in other people than it is in yourself. It's true. And it's one of those reasons why like fiction is very powerful, because particularly like fantasy fiction, because like you can recognize like in the Hunger Games, for example, you're like, oh yeah, this propaganda shit is really bad. How could people fall for this? And then it's like you don't realize in your country, your government is sending you propaganda all the time. Because like it's hard to, you're like when you're in it, you don't always recognize it. But when you're looking at something else that's not you, you can separate and then look at it more critically and be like, oh yeah, that's bad. You know what I mean? That's why I like fiction and like diving into fictional media, because like it teaches you stuff, and like if you reflect on it, maybe it will help you kind of like recognize
It really
this in
does.
real life and or in yourself. Like Caitlin's a little epiphany when she's like writing this. It's like, oh well
Mhm.
shit, I do that.
Yeah. I gotta stop doing notes in public though. Like I go to Starbucks, sorry, I go to a coffee shop and do notes, and then I'm having like these breakdowns because of things that I'm realizing about my own self because of this. And it sucks.
I'm so sorry.
But anyway, yeah. So, analyze media, friends. Learn some stuff about yourself.
Yeah, learn some stuff. All right, but we're learning about May right now. So May continues on this and basically says, "Has anyone asked me who I love?" And I don't think that was a question, to be honest. Like, I think we all know. Like, is not coming here being like, "You love me, May." She knows you don't love her. Like, everybody knows. Is like lost in her own feelings. But like, I get what she's saying, where she's basically like, I'm a part of this equation also, and then like nobody is taking what I want into consideration because again, I and were playing the like I'm gonna pretend to be you, you pretend to be me situation, and like not involving Nay, the other person in the fucking equation. And the only reason why we're here with this is because May already knew the deception. But like, you know what I mean? Like, if she hadn't known, this would have been really fucked for like the twins to pull a switcheroo multiple times on her. You know what I mean? Like, what they
Yeah,
were doing is fucked up to her. And like no one asked her.
it's true.
Yeah. All right. So like yeah, May gets more and more devastated because Phil was a fucking amazing actor. And then she bends at the waist like she's moments away from becoming that crumpled up piece of paper lying here. And watches May closely, and I think it starts to sink in that isn't the only one who's been hurt by this whole situation. And that's when I chimes in. She's like, "See, May is not happy about this either." Like, basically, like, then she's like, she recognizes the cycle of pain everybody's in. And she's like, look, everything started off in hell when it comes to all of us. So why don't we just, like, you forgive May and then, like, let's start over. And it's like, that's kind of like the understatement of the century, to be honest with you. Like, I is absolutely correct. Like, we're at this weird crossroad where, like, we cannot change the past. What's done is done and we can learn from it and move forward. And like I saying, let's break the unending cycle of hurting each other. However, like everybody here wronged each other, and like everybody needs to apologize. Not just for us to really move forward. Because, like, yes, hurt May and kidnapped May, and that's how we physically got here. But, like, we also got here because, like, you were lying to her. You guys were, like, doing shit. You know what I mean? Everybody needs to apologize and forgive each other and just, like, move on. Like, everybody, not just So I like her sentiment. I don't like the way she phrased it. Because, like, you're all guilty of hurting each other. All of you. Everybody needs to apologize and forgive each other and move on.
Alas, that is not what we say, though.
It sure isn't. Okay, so while I is speaking really reasonably about this is not what wants to hear. So stands up, fueled by rage, and says to even after everything that's happened, you're still taking her damn side. Because, like, again, the way I phrased it was like, you need to apologize. Not we all. I feel like if she was like, we all need to apologize, then wouldn't have had this reaction. But, like, the way she says it, it comes off that way. I get why she's triggered.
But in this whole conversation too, I is kind of treating like a child, being like,
She
"Oh,
is.
you need to apologize, make up, say you're sorry."
Yep.
You're treating her like she is weak and little. Like although you're the big sister, you are minutes older. Okay, like
Literally.
she is not a
Come on.
child for you
No.
to baby, and because
Yeah.
you're babying her is hurting her even more.
Yeah. No, I wholeheartedly agree with you. I think it's that line. While I understand what she's saying and she's not wrong, like, I's not wrong. Like, again, we got to break the cycle. It sounds condescending to your point, where she's like, quit being a child, like, quit throwing a tantrum. Meanwhile, like, again, is triggered. This triggers because she's like, I literally just poured my heart out to you, told you my side of the story, where she's like basically like accusing this woman of like killing her husband and like robbing her for sanity and like all this stuff. And I's body language is in the scene. It was very protective towards May, and I has not like look at the scene. Like, I has not left May's side. Like, it's like clear that she has chosen May's side. Like,
Oh yeah.
visually also, while monologuing about all of this. So, like, I get why she gets triggered when I phrases it that way. I get that. I do. Not that I is wrong.
And I
I
guess
needed to. expand to we need to apologize.
Like, I see that is, like, seeing that I is literally on May's side right now. So I
Yes.
think, like, that's causing her to not listen to everything that May just said. I mean, again, the
Yes.
point where, like, she does lie, like, everyone's lying to
Right.
her, so, like, what can she believe? Um, but, like, if she would've understood, like, I has been choosing but it's kind of
The
like
whole
in the
time.
moment right now, it's kind of
Yeah.
erasing everything.
Right. I agree. I think it's like one of those situations where like emotions are heightened, rationality's gone out the window, logic's kind of not logic is hanging on by a frayed thread. It's one of those things. Like anyway. Wants justice, not you know, you know what I mean. She's upset and like losing it, so it's you know, I get it. But like, I puts her foot in her mouth sometimes, and it's like, girl, because she's not the orator. She's not the lawyer who can like give you flowery words to smooth over a situation. She's the street fighter, so like, it's not her strength, and she's doing what she thinks is right. She's you know what I mean. Even though it's like, girl, that was she comes in here, she's like just throwing fighting words around. And it's like I like anyway. Interesting though, during this, May doesn't look towards I when I is defending her. She's more so fixated on and then she keeps her eyes closed and her head hung low, like right before starts talking again. Because you know, and to me, the body language for May at the end of this is giving defeated or like waiting for a punishment. Because I think May feels the ultimatum she's been afraid of coming into fruition right now, and she's scared. And it's like May has the upper hand, right? Because like I's on her side, I is defending her. But like again, all the things May just listed out, she's like, every time when it comes down to it, you pick your sister. So I think May really isn't confident that I loves her more than anyone else. And she's like, fuck, it's gonna happen, isn't it?
She's been waiting for this moment.
Oh yeah, like on like in anticipation, that like fear anticipation, that's been May for a very long time. And then like, I get why Oon, want me to forgive May. It's because you love her, and she loves you, and nobody loves me. And this is when I makes her choice. This is when I finally fucking does something. Because I strides over to and says, that isn't true. And I moves to take arm to like comfort and ground her, but violently shakes I off and backs away from her. And it's like, why wouldn't she, You've been lying to her for weeks.
Also, like, she said multiple times that no one loves her, and you have not discredited that statement.
Correct!
So, like, the amount of times it takes for it to sink into her, like, for them to, like, understand that she's lonely and, like, doesn't feel loved is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Like, just show her that you love her.
Yeah, that is how we get to the ultimatum, because fucking again, is she bad with words? She's the fucking writer. She's not bad with words. Like, tell your sister you fucking love her. Go on a trip down memory lane. Like, now would have been a great time to fucking tell her about the Solar Sibling book that you, like, bought after you burnt. You know what? Now was the fucking time, but like, you're usually so good at these moments. Like, you're failing hard when it comes to and it's not, I don't hate we got this comment that says we hate these guys. I don't hate her. I just like, now it's like, you're missing your moment is the thing. And that's kind of how we get to where we get to it. And it's like, again, you've been lying to and you've not owned up to that at all. So like, yeah, where coming from, she's like, you've broken my trust, and so like, you're telling me it's not true, but like, what's fresh in her mind right now are all these actions from her sister that prove otherwise. Yeah, we have historic data that says that, I was her big sister that loved her, but it's been 20 years since then. You know what I mean? Like, like it's again, like, your own actions, like, you tell to apologize, but you also need to apologize. Like, your actions pushed to this point where very understandably cannot trust the words you're saying. Like, And May's a lawyer, like, no offense, Slayer King, but like, she knows May. She's like, I know I can't always trust you, obviously, but like, you know, here's my sister who's lied to my face 3 times in a row. Oh
Mhm.
my god. And it's like, and like, yes, I is emotional in the scene, and she can see that I cares, because I did come towards her, and I is crying now. But it's like, no matter how many tears I sheds, like no matter how many emotions I puts into her voice when she said it's not true, like it's not going to be enough to convince Like, to your point, she needs to do something bigger than that to like demonstrate she loves her sister. Okay, and because none of this is working, that's why continues and says, "No, you love May because that's what your actions show, and you condemn me. You've never chosen me, like not even once, even though May just listed off a bunch of times. She
Yeah,
can't
no,
see
okay. So, like, this is once again deciding things for I by telling her this because, like, she's trying to tell I how I feels, but it isn't true. Like, she says that
You're
I
right,
never chooses her, not even once, despite May, like, literally telling her that. But
and you hate me.
also
She also says you hate me. Yeah,
yeah, you hate me. But also, we've seen that the twins have had a conversation about I sacrificing her own education and life for and Meemaw. Like, is that
yes,
not choosing
you're right. Yeah, again, we're forgetting all of that shit. Yeah, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But, like,
no,
she's not
absolutely.
she even like, she can't even think rationally right now
No,
to
she can't.
think
That's the
about that
thing.
time.
No,
So, I mean, I don't blame her for not, like, remembering that, but, like, that's also how she feels.
yeah,
So it's just
totally.
showing that there hasn't been that much of a bond for her to feel that love.
I
Because
agree.
it could have been just her, I, like, doing it for Meemaw, and, like, that's and she was just like a she
Yeah,
had
part of
to
the
do it for
equation. Yeah,
Too, because that would
right.
help Meemaw.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I'm with you. Is not. She's not okay in this scene. Like of everybody here, she is not mentally and emotionally stable right now. So like unreliable stuff, and she's hurt and is just being very defensive and like all that kind of stuff. Like it's not very rational. Like I get that. But you're right. We she has even said when she was in a more like mentally stable, emotionally stable state, has recognized that I did sacrifice stuff for her. We had her say it. It's just, yeah, she's off the rails right now. And I think the other reason we get the part of this, like again, the end of this is where she says, "You hate me." And I think is clinging to that. Like, 'cause she keeps repeating this stuff, right? Because it's like things are not sinking in. She's repeating stuff over and over again. I think she's clinging to this because, like, this was her relationship with I before the accident, right? They had the rift. They didn't bridge that trust back between the two of them. They were still on the outskirts. Yeah, they were like doing stuff where like I was making sacrifices about the school, like you mentioned, and then saves her from becoming a sex worker. Not that sex work's not valid. First, I just wanted to say that.
Yes.
But just comes in and is like trying to be like, now it's my turn to pay it forward. Like, yeah, they had those interactions, but they were so like few and far between. And it ultimately didn't repair their relationship enough to where like they were as like lovey-dovey and trusting of each other as they were like when they were kids. So I think like almost like regressing a bit, like emotionally for sure, and then like mentally. Because again, she just got these memories back also that she
Mhm.
lost. So I think she's like kind of going back to like what their relationship was before the accident. And like in her mind, I think maybe like what's also fresh in her brain is like what happened recently where I proved that like that is the case. You do hate me because you broke my trust after the accident. Like you were seeing May behind my back. Like we haven't addressed that she knows that. Like you know what I mean? Like so I think like this is like asking for an action for I right now. Prove that you love me right now. Don't give me your bullshit. I think that's kind of like what's going on here. Okay, so I was watching basically say all this stuff. And I imagine this hurts I very deeply to have the sisters that she loves basically call her a heartless monster and an uncaring sibling. And to your point, Caitlin, you're like putting words in my mouth and like projecting emotions onto me that aren't real because to your point, like I has been sacrificing for years for benefit. And I, in her brain, was still sacrificing all over again when it came to this whole situationship because she's like, I didn't even want to be here in the first place. I went and broke up with your side piece, although I never broke up with her because I loved you, Oom. Even though it was insane, I went and did it. I never wanted to be in this position she's in right now with Oom and May. Like, hence all the lying she did. Like, she never wanted to be here where she had to choose. Like, never.
Yeah.
Never. That is why I really took herself out of the equation. She's like, I will give back to May and take me out of it. They can deal with it. Like, I don't want to have to choose. But now we're at a crossroad where fate is demanding a choice from Oon specifically.
Yeah.
Because like because May and have made their choices, and it's like you're in the middle of this triangle. Now you have to choose because you can't choose both right now. Kind of thing.
Yeah. This like I understand that is hurt and at an emotional rock bottom, basically. But
Yeah.
her telling I to choose between her and May is just a bit ridiculous. Because like she is the one who sent I to May. And now she's just having regrets about doing that. It's like giving someone a gift and then asking for it back. In a way.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
This whole baby you need some help.
Okay. So I sounds very broken and hurt when she responds, that's not true. That's not true at all. And then it cuts to like she's a spooked wild animal. Like, look at her. Like, I was like, she's gonna end up in the river. And because this should get real. And then processes this for a second and then looks from I to May. And then we linger on and May as they stare at each other, and May looks scared. Because in the hospital after the accident, turned herself into May's villain, and someone May would need to, quote, fight to get what she wanted for Oon's love. And now, years later, May has become that obstacle for to get what she wants, which is happiness and love. So this is how everything got super twisted by all the shit that went down, basically. So then we finally end up at the moment where tells then choose. And here's that ultimatum everyone has been dreading, including because her breathing starts to get shallow. Like, she's getting an adrenaline response to this and panicking because is backing her into a corner she does not want to be in. And continues, will you choose me? And then trails off to look at May. And May loses what little composure she has left. Or says, or the person that ruined my life.
Okay.
And you know what? Maybe could have been a lawyer in another life, because that was quite the leading question you just asked the witness.
Yes, that is so true. Because like that is such an exaggeration. Because like while May is not a great person, like the worst thing she did directly to is shut her out immediately when she knew it wasn't her who she met in high school. Like, which is shitty.
Sister behind her back.
Well, that too. Okay, but like not ruin her life shitty. Okay. But I get that, like, right now she's blaming her for Paul. So, like, that's how she's getting to, she ruined my life. But, like, again, that was not May's fault.
Just May was a catalyst, but there was a lot of things that happened that led to that death. Okay, so then it cuts to who is frozen and very unsure of what to do. And then to May, who is bawling furiously and puts her shaky hand to her mouth to cry silently. Because remember, she's behind and I can't see her. So May is just like trying to keep be really small and not spook maybe, because like I can't see her. Like, if she started audibly crying, I feel like that would affect in this moment, but she doesn't choose to do that, which is interesting.
Because she doesn't want to like sway her decision. She wants to be the reason. She wants to choose her because she wants to.
You're right, exactly.
Yeah.
But isn't done. She has one last move before the checkmate, where she plays the big sister duty card. Where she says, do you remember promising to make it up to me? That duty, you know? Just know if you choose May, then you'll never see me again. Which means I will no longer consider you my sister. And I frowns when she hears this because I don't think she saw this part coming because this is very extreme. Right?
Oh, no, this whole thing is very extreme.
It's very, very extreme. Okay. But Ioun, your sister, number one, is not okay right now. Again, the river. And number two, you also did a lot of extreme and reckless things in the name of love that also led us to this moment. So it's like birds of a feather kind of shit, honestly.
I'm sorry, but like the way that she says like she can only see one of them again for the rest of her life, like that's shitty, and like
It is.
that's shitty no matter what. And like I doubt you could convince me otherwise. Like that's bullshit for Oom to do.
Yeah, well, I think Oom is at a rock bottom moment, and it's just gotten very black and white for her, is kind of the thing. So
All
she's,
or
again,
nothing
the
thinking.
regression thing. It's like childhood thinking, childish thinking, where it's this versus that, black versus white. That's where she's at.
Which
And
she'll
as we
learn
see,
about in therapy.
she doesn't stick to that once she goes to therapy and works through her emotions, but like
Yeah.
that's where she's at right now because she's tired of getting screwed over and betrayed and is like we can't, obviously we can't all coexist. Okay? So like you need to choose because you're the linchpin in this situation. Because again, what happened at the wedding where is like, May, you can go be with that's fine, but I or not, or be with whoever you want. I don't want to know about it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to be involved. And then that's what said at the wedding. And then we got the scene where catches them together behind her back and she can't handle it. So she's like, all right, never mind. Actually, I can't handle this. So if you choose her and you choose to like bring her around Mimas and things like that, I cannot physically be there and witness this. Like I can't handle it. So like you choose, it's her or me, but you can't have us both. Like I can't handle it. That's what she's saying.
Mm-hmm.
Is it right? No, but I understand what kind of where she's coming from. It is extreme. It is childish. It is all these things. But like I get it. Also, it's very dramatic.
Do it
Okay.
for the drama.
Right. And then finishes, and if you choose me, you'll never see May ever again. Okay. So not only will I disown you, but you can't see May. And this is the most ultimatum to ever ultimatum, and May reacts very poorly because hot damn, is this way worse than she imagined.
And it's like she could kind of see where this was going there, but like she knows she's about to lose because
Yes.
like she said, I always chooses Oom.
I always chooses and there's another reason she chooses that I explains. Okay. And then it cuts to And to your point, Caitlin, if you've been watching this podcast all along, then you already know that I made her choice a long, long time ago. And May also knows that. So when I turns to look at May, they both know that this is some kind of goodbye. Okay? But it's a lot more than I's love for that forces I to this decision. It's this promise that I and May made to each other, where they made the promise to love each other without hurting each other. And how could they possibly do that when I's twin flame would be hurt forever? Like, that's also the crux of this, too. So it's, in a way, I does choose both of them, kind of, because she chooses to honor her promise to May to keep happy, thus proving that she does love May. But doesn't know about this promise.
Yeah.
So I kind of doesn't really choose, but she kind of does.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then I's silence stretches on into the night, kills something in as well, because says, see, you never choose me. And it's like inferiority complex and insecurity are just like getting the better of her.
Personally, that would make me choose May right there because, bitch, give me a minute to think about making this life-altering decision. Because, like, it's an impossible situation for Like, of course she loves her sister and wants what is best for her. Like, that's her family, and she's sacrificed so much for her. Like, she doesn't want to just lose her. But Meg is the first person to make I feel seen and loved and, like, how can she just let that go willingly? It's it's almost like is thinking, well, if I can't have the person who loves me, then I can't either.
Because yeah, I mean, think about what you just said. This was the first person that I felt seen by. That's how feels about May. You're right.
Mm.
That's why it hurts. That's why it hurts so much, because she's like, you're getting the love that I thought was for me, and it wasn't. And that hurts because that's the thing I wanted all along. And like, she can't see the Paul stuff yet because she needs to go to therapy. But like, yeah, in a way, it is. Yeah. She's like, why must it be with May though? Why can't it be somebody else? Anyway. But yeah, you're not wrong. Um. Anyway, so like, yeah, it's inferiority complex towards I, and that's her insecurity, and that's why she's pushing. She's like, see, like I was right, and it's like lost her romantic love and is now feels like she's lost her sister too. Like a bond that's supposed to be this lifelong thing that's supposed to be unbreakable. Again, like Disney lies to us all. And I think like feels very alone, like very much alone, and that's where a lot of this is coming from. She's hurt and not okay, and then she's putting I in this like impossible situation. But it's like we kind of all did things that like made us end up here, guys. We all need to collectively go to therapy and like
Again,
apologize to each other.
individual and group therapy.
And
We
group
need this.
therapy, yeah, it's not just needs it urgently because she's not
Yes.
okay in the scene, but like we
She needs
all need to go.
intensive therapy right now.
Correct. We need different levels of it, but we all really need to go. Okay, then we get to most dramatic moment of the scene, where I says dramatically, "I've never chosen you. I've never not chosen you. I'm sorry." And then she turns back to May, and then she says, "A boom," and goes and hugs And in the hug, like I hugs and hugs I even tighter. Like it's really like desperate coming from because to your point, Caitlin, she's just feeling super alone. And that was the problem the whole time. She just felt unloved. It's not that she wasn't loved, she felt unloved. And those are two different things, honestly. But like everybody, then now May feels unloved. So May starts crying even harder and louder. And it's that visceral, painful crying that film does. And when it cuts to I, it's really evident that May's pain, because now she can hear May. May before was silencing herself, but now she can hear it. And like that visceral pain starts gutting I. Like you can just see it. Like, because I starts crying and then I covers her mouth so that won't hear it. So like again, it's not that we broke the cycle of hurting each other. We just did it again.
Oops, we did it again. Got lost in the game.
Oh, baby. Okay, and then it cuts to who's crying too. And I think for like being held by I and feeling loved finally, like helps her come down from the intensity of her unstable emotions. And this is the thing that actually grounds her, because nothing before this did. Like when you have an emotionally unstable situation, you need to ground the person, and nothing was grounding except this hug seems to actually kind of do it. And like this is what she needed the whole time, honestly. Like to for somebody to not just to love her, but to make her feel it. Right. And she was emotionally in a very deep, dark place, like the bottom of a river or whatever the fuck, and like emotionally speaking, and didn't feel it. And so like this is the breakthrough, essentially. So when crying in the hug, it's more like tears of relief versus I and May, who are like tears of pain kind of thing.
Yeah.
And May is so hurt that she literally collapses to the ground. Because monologued for 30 minutes about how no one loved her and no one chooses her. But in the end, no one chooses May. And now May feels unloved and robbed of her happiness, the thing she's been fighting for and searching for since high school. Like, boom, that's gone forever. And then film starts ratcheting up the pain, where she starts crying out for I. And at first it's very soft and kind of quiet, but then it becomes more intense. and erratic and desperate and heartbreaking, and it cuts to Ai, and it looks like it's taking everything in her not to react so that Oom will notice and to stick with her choice.
What is thinking in this situation, though?
I think she feels relieved. Like,
Like, hearing
like
May in pain?
I don't think she's listening to May the way May doesn't listen
Okay,
to her.
that's true.
She doesn't care. She can't is emotionally incapable of that at this moment. Again, I think she's just I think the adrenaline is slowly starting to wear off for
Sh
I don't think she's thinking anything. I think she's just crying and hugging her sister. I don't think she's thinking about anything.
Mhm,
Finally, because like
that's fair.
her thoughts have been tormenting her.
Okay, should we now talk about how someone else showed up?
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't know if you had anything else before I
No, no.
transitioned to that. All right. And then Tan enters the scene. And my question is like, who called him? I feel
No.
like how is he here? Mima? How did
I don't know,
Mima
I
know?
just started thinking about that now. I was like, "Wait a minute, how is he there?"
Why is Tan here? Yeah, exactly.
Did,
Why?
like, I call him and be like, "What is she doing?" Or, like, no, like, May's in trouble?
Right. That was my thought. I'm like, it had to have been I that called him, like, for backup, unless May magically was able to send off a text to Tan on their inordinately long car ride. Because remember, we were driving in the daytime and then we arrive in the nighttime. So, like,
Or does he just
was it
have, like,
May?
Find My Friends on, and, like, he's like, "What? That's weird. Why is she there?" And, like, just goes because he's like, "She's gonna call me to do something for her. May as well be in the area."
Yeah, that's fair. He could have been trying to anticipate if he can have the night off to take Ploy on a date, and then he saw that she was headed wherever the fuck this is, and was like, "That was not on the itinerary." And then maybe he calls I, and he's like, "Are you taking her somewhere?" And like I's like on the motorcycle, like, "I can't talk right now, bitch." Like, you know, he's like, "I guess this is dangerous." Yeah, like how did he get here? Like to this location? He must have had the Find My Friends thing on the phone because
Does he
I
also
didn't know
have
where they
Soul
were
Sync?
headed.
Because that's hilarious.
Yeah. Soul Sync, Soul Sync. Yeah, he was soul sinking and they didn't realize it. Yeah. If you have theories about Tom, let us know. But like I was just like, I'm happy he's here, but I was just like, how did he get here? Like, how? Anyway, regardless, May drops to the floor and he's there to like hold her as she cries. And then finally, that's when I breaks away from to look at May. And I'm sure I's committing this horrible moment to memory so she can torment herself later because her actions cause May to be in pain. And that's how I will rationalize this to herself later.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Very Iun thing to do. But I really can't take May's pain for too long because then she quickly ushers away into the car while Tan tries his best to calm May down. And even takes one last glance at May before she leaves. And I do wonder, to your point, now that she's out of the hug and she actually looks at May and can hear the horrible gut-wrenching sobs coming from her, like how does she actually feel seeing May in pain like this? Like I feel like part of her is like justified because she's like, yeah, this is how I felt, bitch. Like, your turn. Karma. Maybe it was a karma rationalization. This is your karma. Like, it doesn't make the situation right or wrong, like, or anything like that. But, like, is that her justification? Because, like, I feel like that would make sense because she doesn't seem remorseful looking at that, you know?
She's probably just like, "I don't wanna be here anymore."
Checkmate, bitch. Yeah. I don't ever want to see you again. Ugh. And then May cries for I as I walks away. And this is just the most heartbreaking scene in the series. Like the way Tan and May grip each other for like dear life feels so real. Like give film all the awards for this scene. I don't
Yeah.
know how many takes this took to get this. I don't know where you went emotionally or mentally during the scene, but goddamn was this the performance of a lifetime for film.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. And kudos to the actor that plays Tan to like support her in this scene because there's like behind the scenes stuff of like him holding film in between takes because like wherever she went was not good, and she'd have to like come down from that. And like he like held her like as the empathetic actor who knows what that's like just like held her while she was like wherever she is during these moments.
Mhm.
All right. And then basically the scene ends with May crying, Ton holding her, and she's just saying I over and over again, just like her heart breaking in real time. And then I gets in the car and drives home. And this whole scene is wild. Sorry.
I have a question,
So do I. Go ahead.
but you can say it.
No, go ahead.
What about I's bike?
Yes. Yes. I was gonna say this whole scene is wild, but the craziest part to me is that I just leaves her motorcycle here. Because, okay, realistically, her choice in this moment was Oom's car or I's bike. And the car won because like Oom's unstable and I don't feel like she should be on a motorcycle right now.
She'd just be tipping him over.
That would be horrible. Who knows that she brought an extra helmet? She just ran out of the shop like she wasn't prepared for this. But here's the deal, though. She left the bike here, which is awful if you think about it, because it means I has to come back to this location to retrieve it. You know, the
Yeah.
place where she actively broke her girlfriend's heart and had to make this choice that her sister forced her to do. So she has to come relive that when she comes back to get her bike. So you know that I is going to emotionally torture herself when she comes
I hope
back
she
here.
took the
This
bike's
is just
keys with her too. Anyway.
unless Ton's a good ride or die and he's like gets somebody to tow the bike.
Oh, that'd be
Because I'm
nice.
pretty sure they're in contact with each other kind of going forward.
Yeah, they are.
I feel like that is something he would do because he's a good like planner. But if not, she has to come back here to get the bike. All right, and that is the end of this part of the episode.
What a way to end that part.
Yeah.
But we're gonna end that part, not this episode, but we're gonna end
No.
that part with some shout outs for our Chaos Crew over on Patreon.
Woo!
Our Chaos Crew members on the Big Gay Ride or Die tier and above are Amix Manzone _ Multi, Ashy So Stunning, Danny, Isla, L, Erica LC, Here For It, Jasmine O, Jill L, Cassie M, Kelsey S, Leona, Michelle G, Monet F, Moving Forward Leading, Nancy D, Pooja S, Regina B, and Werjibachin. Woo! And our featured Big Gay supporter members for this episode are M, Day, and Emmy. Thank you so much for all of your support. And thank you.
Yay, thank you all. We appreciate you.
Yes, and thank you to everybody who's watching and listening to this, because we really appreciate you too. Go do all the things if you want to show us how much you love us and support us. You know what to do. Picking up with part 4, I gets a text message from Ton updating her about May, and he tells her that he gave May sleeping pills and ensure she rested. And it's interesting that Ton is still giving I updates, even though she hurt May in a big way. Like, I feel like Ton is the ultimate I and May shipper now, and it feels like he thinks this will just all blow over at some point, but it is weird because it's like he's choosing her in this moment by updating her.
Yeah, it's really weird because like Ton is the one who's left to put May back together after I just broke her into a million pieces. So it's weird that he is texting her. So like I do that's why I was wondering like did he pick up her bike? Because I do wonder like what kind of conversations I and Ton have off screen. Because we have evidence in the show that they do have conversations off screen. Like that are in good faith. Like let us all remember the candle scene in the bathroom in Karat. Like, why did I have the scented candles that May found? Because she talked to Ton, and Ton explained why May has them and why they're important. So, like, she does counsel him about May, and he gives her real advice. So, I do wonder, like, what were they doing off screen? You know what I mean? That, like, led to this?
Yeah, I also think
it's kind of interesting.
He also knows that I, like, despite her choosing is probably still worried about May, so, like,
For
I guess
sure.
he's gotten closer to her too as well throughout this. So
Right.
he doesn't wanna be the cause of anything. So he's just like, "Maybe I can make everybody happy." He's the people pleaser.
He's definitely a people pleaser, and I do like, I think off-screen moments between Ton and May, like, would have been really interesting to include and, like, explore because, to your point, there does seem to be some kind of understanding between the 2 of them because, like, they both genuinely care about May and perhaps bonded over that, you know?
Mhm.
So it would have been interesting to have those, like, just Ton and I conversations, like, to explore. It would have been
Yeah,
interesting.
that would be interesting.
Yeah.
So I thinks about the text for a moment, and you can tell she is, like, tempted to text back, but the ultimatum was that she never saw May again. And in a way, this is her engaging with May, which is against the unsaid rules.
I mean, okay, but said, "See May." She didn't say you couldn't text her. She
I mean,
didn't say
that's true.
that.
As I was doing my notes, I'm like, well,
You know?
technically, yeah, like that's a
May
loophole,
the
but
lawyer.
May
May the
May would
lawyer
have
would
argued
see.
that.
May would argue that. I's not a lawyer, though.
No. I was like,
Yeah,
this would hurt if she knew.
for sure. Also, like, it would hurt I because, like, once it's one of those things, once you start, it's a slippery slope, you know what I mean? Where she was like,
Yeah.
"I'm just gonna stay away from May forever," and then she's like, "But I'll leave this one rose at her door." And look how that went. And then she fucking does it again. I just can't with her. She does it again with the diary.
They would
It's
have
the
been
same
sneaking
fucking thing.
around.
Girl, can't even stick to your promises. She's like,
After
"I'm
this
so sneaky, they'll never know."
you're so smooth, I.
Bad spy. You've been a bad spy the whole show. Anyway.
A- After this text, I goes to get the book that she burned as a child. A reminder of her love of arson,
Yes, her evidence of her arson.
as well as a reminder of the time she hurt And like, I find it interesting that there is some of the book left. Like,
Yeah.
did Mima come out and stop the fire? Or did leave and I immediately put the fire out? Like,
That's a
somehow this
good
book got out of the fire before it completely burned.
that's
Like,
a
the
valid
fire didn't put
question.
itself out.
We know who started the fire, but who stopped the fire?
No one stopped the fire.
Right. No, somebody had to stop this thing from burning. So who did it? Was it I's guilt? Was it Mima? Did an actual responsible adult find? I think it's implied that it's I, but like, who knows? What is the truth? I don't know what the truth is in this show. Who knows?
If it was I who stopped it, then she probably felt guilty right away for burning this book.
For sure, yeah. Remember, well, she didn't just burn the book. She burns the book, pushes to the ground. Yeah, she did a lot out of her anger in that little scene. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
This book is the reason that I keeps choosing because she doesn't want to feel this guilt again or hurt like she did in the past. Like,
yeah,
her keeping this book, especially in a place that is easily accessible, proves that, like, this made a huge impact on her. It's like, open the drawers. Oh, great, trauma.
Is it a cactus? No, it's
Indian
happiness.
rubber plant.
It's trauma. No, it's the good place. Is it
Oh, the cactus, yeah.
happiness? No, no, no. It's trauma. I asked for happiness. I promise it's happiness this time. Are you sure? I'm sure. That's trauma. Bye.
It's so much trauma.
It's a lot of trauma.
Alright, so I goes to Meemaw with a new copy of the book
Oh,
and
and she's
a
holding a
Pluto
Pluto
candle.
candle. I just
Yeah,
noticed that. Yeah, she
yeah,
brings it
and
in
a
there.
Pluto candle.
Good product placement, everyone. This was a
Yes.
sad scene. This was not the time for noodles, so candles.
Yeah. So may as well do our own products then.
Right. You can't sell the mug in this scene because it wouldn't make any sense. So, like, the candle makes sense.
Well, she had, like, a bunch of those mugs, but
No,
it's
the
May's
mug.
mug.
It's May's mug. The
Yeah,
mug wouldn't make sense. She would
yeah.
have to have stolen that, and then we'd be like, "Why did she have the mug?"
And then would be like, "Why do we have May's mug?"
Isn't that May's mug? Yeah, no, doesn't want to see that right now. So, like, the Pluto candle.
She would throw it across the room.
She would.
Oh my gosh, and then they'd sell broken Pluto
Pluto
candles. Not
shards.
candles, Pluto
You
mugs.
know how much money they could probably make off that shit? They'd be like, "Now I'm down to touch this.
They could. They
10
really
million
I'm
baht, please."
surprised none of them have
Yeah.
sold actual props.
Shit from the set, yeah.
Yeah.
You could make so much money. You'd be like, "She wore this."
That's
People
why
would
I
pay
think,
money for
like,
that.
they shoulda kept the Clarebell set and then auctioned off
Sold pieces of
pieces.
it. Agreed.
Yeah. Okay, so now that she
Anyway.
has the copy of the book and the Pluto candle, Mima is currently stroking Oom's hair while she lays her head on Mima's lap. And like that's the twins, like both of them go to place when they're in their feels. Like you gotta put your head on Mima's lap. She'll rub your head
She will.
and make you feel better.
This is what needed. She needed to feel loved by people.
Yes.
Yeah.
How sweet it is to feel loved by you. Um okay, so after I places the items down, I tells Meemaw that this will help relax. And like I's voice here sounds more exhausted than actually concerned about because she's just like, I guess I'm in this
Yeah.
role. I gotta be a caretaker. But she's just like, I'm so sick of all like this. Like not like sick
All
of
of
it, but she's just like,
it.
I can't do this anymore.
That was a
That,
hell of a day.
that
Everyone's exhausted.
she was so happy in the beginning of this day. Like, I'm gonna go get food. I gave a copy of my book to May. I just got my reward for writing this damn book. Everything was going great. And then it got all tore down at once.
Yeah. The consequences of my actions? What?
Poor Meemaw then starts
Seriously.
blaming herself for causing the twins trauma while raising them. And like
I
Meemaw
love this though.
tried her absolute best to raise these kids the best she knows how, and she did a great job. Like
She
these,
did.
they are alive, they are healthy, they are somewhat thriving. And like it is so hard to know how your actions will affect a child later in life. And like sometimes it's just unavoidable. So things are gonna happen. And like I said in the previous episode, they have to have something to talk about in therapy. They just have to.
I love this conversation with Mima though, because I'm glad she said that. Like, I'm sorry for the trauma I caused you. It really reminded me of, in somewhere somehow, like Peem's dad's character arc.
Mhm.
Because I think that's important to show that people make mistakes. Whether like intention doesn't matter, because to your point, Mima intended to step in. Well, didn't she didn't intend to raise these kids. She inherited them and then did her very best. But there were unintended consequences of her actions. Unintended consequences of my actions could be the title of the show, honestly. So, like, but like sometimes you make mistakes, and real growth in life comes from learning from your mistakes, not pretending it never happened. Because often in shows and Poisonous Love, people will like pretend like we never caused people trauma, and then you just try to move on real fast. And it's like, no, 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 hold on. This was the consequences of your actions. Like, own it, say I'm sorry, and then like we can heal and all move on. But like if you just keep ignoring it forever, then nothing ever changes. So I'm glad they had this conversation in here, because everybody starts apologizing, and that's what needed to happen to break the fucking cycle, because we kept ignoring and running away from the problems. But like now we're all confronting it,
We're starting to
learning.
communicate.
Yeah, but yes, communicating and also learning. That's how we change things. If we don't learn, we cannot change.
Mhm.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
It's all true. And I takes a moment and then sits next to Meemaw. And she tells Meemaw that they cause each other traumas. In other words,
Yes.
it wasn't only Meemaw.
Right.
And I also tells her at least they come from love. And like this is true. Trauma from
Right.
love is a lot better than trauma from hatred. Just
It's still
saying.
trauma, but yeah, you're right. It's like she was saying we were good intentioned, but the outcome was bad, which is true. Like that is true. That is what happened in this whole show. That's how we got here. That is valid.
Mhm. Meemaw nods her head in agreement, and, like, I rubs Meemaw's shoulder to comfort her. Even when she is in pain, I is still trying to take care of everyone else and their emotions.
Yes.
Girl, you gotta just think about yourself for once. Well, you did.
Uh,
You did.
she every time she does, bad shit happens. That's
Yes,
what
that's
keeps
true.
happening. So she's traumatized.
So then they both look to who looks like she cried herself to sleep because there are still tears on her eyes
I
as
know.
she's sleeping. And wakes up, and I asks if she woke her. And I calls her little sister.
Yes.
And I know, like, we do talk about this, but, like, this is her term of endearment for like, showing that she cares for her sister and isn't holding what happened against her. It could also be, like, she is, like, calling her a child here because you're like, "You're my little sister." I could be seen as condescending a little bit if you read into it.
It definitely could be. What's interesting is that looks surprised when I calls her little sister. So I do wonder if that term of endearment, like, basically, like, in the language, it's my understanding that that just symbolizes the relationship, not only, like, age, but they're close, and so I
Mhm,
wonder if I hasn't called her that since they were kids, because
mhm.
throughout the show, we've heard call I big sister, like, PI. She calls her big sister like we're close, but I doesn't really say it back. So I wonder if that's something that I stopped doing a long time ago when, like, the rift happened between them, and this is the first time heard it, and that's partially why she looks surprised.
That's a
And
good point.
yeah, and like, correct me if I'm wrong, because, like, I can't recall hearing it from like, as an adult, but I can recall saying PI, and I wonder if, like, and I do like the choice because it's a subtle way of showing that I did reflect on what told her by the river. Because yeah, that was batshit bananas while it was happening, but, like, I has reflected on it and is, like, changing her behavior to show that she loved her. So, like, I was listening despite the chaoticness of that whole situation,
Mhm.
which says a lot about as always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, asks why I called her little sister, and I tells her that it is so she will remember that she is her big sister. And I think I means this is for to know she will always be there for her and
Yeah.
caring about her, especially since older siblings are typically, like, conditioned to look after younger siblings. Like, she wants to know that she takes her role seriously.
Oh yeah, for sure. She's like, "Don't forget, I am your big sister and I love you." I don't think she meant it as little runt. Don't forget, you're the like the condescending way.
Yeah.
But if you choose to read it that way, it is amusing. This conversation.
It's just, like, coming
Don't
from,
forget
like
your place.
it's just coming from, like, the previous scene where she was
Yeah,
being
I know.
condescending to her.
She was.
S
Yeah,
like, it's the same night.
I know. Like, literally, this is all the same fucking day. What a day.
It's been a long ass day.
Wait a minute. So, like, okay, my question is, now that I'm thinking about it, what the fuck time is it right now? Because again, drove May out to that river in the daytime. They get there and it's nighttime, and then I has to drive them back.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
fuck time is it? Is it like 4 a.m.? Like, what
Oh,
time
that's a
is
good
it?
point. Meanwhile, you're a legend for
Poor
being up this late
Mima,
right now.
poor Mima, and then Ton, who didn't ask for any of this, and now has to be at. He had to drive May back so that he's at May's feeding her sleeping pills at 4 a.m. or whatever the fuck time it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's actually wild.
that's a good point
Anyway, sorry, I just realized that.
because, like, picks up May in the morning. It has to
In
be
the
in the morning.
morning.
At the very
She's like, I'm
least,
coming
it's like
over.
11, 12 PM. Like,
Right,
that's the
tops.
latest it could be. So, like, for the
Correct.
it has to be, like, a 6-hour drive.
Where was this place? Right. So, assuming they got there as the sun was setting, I don't even know what time of year it is. Like,
No, but, like,
let's say,
say 5 or 6, just
right.
on the
So, if it's
earlier side.
that's what I'm saying. If it's winter, that means that the sun set at like 5 or 6 p.m. They were there for like an hour or whatever, and then like drove up. Yeah, it's like it's the next day by the time they get
Yeah.
back. Yeah. It's gotta be super early in the morning, like, when the sun's not out, shit, like 1 AM, 2 AM. Oh my god, what a fucking day. Nobody asked for this. Nobody.
No
Possibly
one
Oom
wants to
because
be
she
here
came
right
out
now.
today.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be here right now. Actually, no, they need to be here right now. I know you don't wanna be here, but you bitches need to be having this conversation.
But, like,
I
we could have
personally
done it when we were all more awake.
correct, I agree.
Okay, but back to the scene.
Anyway,
Meemaw then nods in agreement and then kisses Oom's head as she says that Oom has her as her Meemaw. Well, she says grandma, but she's Meemaw.
she's Mima.
And like they're both trying to get to realize that there are people who are there for her and love her, even though she feels like there isn't. Like this whole scene is proof that is loved, but it's
Yeah.
something that is easy to forget when you're depressed and feel like everything is
Yes.
out of control. Like you aren't rational when you're feeling like that. You're just like no one loves me. Someone could have just told you that they loved you, but like those are just words. Those are
Right.
just like you need to feel it in that moment. Like you need people to actively be telling you that they love you and showing you that when you're feeling
Yes.
depressed because it's just going to go out your head.
It's gonna go out the window, and that's how we get the river scene. Yeah, no,
Yep.
exactly. Like this is she's got elements of depression too that they don't really seem to get into. They focus on the PTSD, but like this bitch is depressed, and she's probably been depressed for a really long time. And honestly, like this is what happened to me when I was in her situation. That was the first time I ever was depressed, and it took me a long time to realize that I was actively depressed. Like I didn't realize it because it's this insidious thing. Like the way this kind of like emotional breakup thing happens, it's insidious. And you can't, you're not a good judge of your own behavior and character in that moment. At least if you've never dealt with the depression before and then it's like
Yeah.
creeps up on you, you're like, oh, fuck. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I could see how
you can't think
it's
rationally.
hard.
You just can't.
Unless you
I
like
get it,
you're
man.
someone who deals with depression every single day, then like you're like, "Oh, I recognize this feeling."
Yeah,
But
that's what
this
I mean.
isn't.
You'd have to be trained to recognize it, but if it's happening to you and you don't like for the first time, you don't know what you're looking for. Like you don't
Yeah,
know.
you're
It's
just
just
kind of
like you
like,
just
"What why am I feeling this?" Like,
why do
what?
I feel like this? Why does nothing bring me joy? Why is it like I feel super hollow? Like it's just like and it doesn't end and it's so frustrating to be in that situation. And then it feels hopeless. Like
Mhm.
yeah, so that's where she's at. Like you can tell me all you want, but it doesn't change the way it's not changing the way I feel. It's like you need something more than normal. It's just like, yeah, I get where she's coming at. I think she's depressed, honestly.
Oh, she's extremely depressed. I think she
Yeah.
could have major depressive disorder, like, where
Absolutely. Yeah.
like,
It's
it's just
not just the PTSD.
recurring. It's
Yeah.
like, you could see it, like, even when she was
Yeah.
working, like, she was so
Oh my
down, and
god. Yes. Yeah.
there's just times where she looks exhausted. She's depressed.
Yeah. She's
She needs
depressed.
needed this help. She needed this break to really dive into it, and I do wish that they did more than the PTSD because there is a lot more going there.
I agree.
Just
Because like
focus on
even
that because that was, like, the root cause, but what's
was it
nice to
though?
see
That
how
was the catalyst for
complex
the
people
downfall.
are.
But like, yeah, like if you
Yeah.
go back to again the wedding, like, the aftermath of the wedding, it took one phone call with May for her to go back into the depression. Like, that's how easy it was to get triggered and, like, backslide. All the progress she made, she's, like,
Mhm.
back, you know what I mean? And again, like, because like, they're not trained counselors either, so they nobody recognized what was right in front of them with like, when they were with her, like and, like, people who are intelligent, like can mask very easily. It's like it's in Us, like, Us, the series,
Yeah.
remember we went through that with Kawi, and, like, he masked really well because he was intelligent, like, so did and like, for to be fair to her, her job when she was a flight attendant, she was barely home, so, like, they didn't see her on the day-to-day, so, like, they don't know,
And
like, what
that's
her
a
mental
job
status was, like
like, that job is very isolating.
yes,
Like, she has
absolutely.
like, for years has been isolating herself, like, without meaning to, because that's her career and, like, that's how she's
Right.
helping the family too.
Yes. Right.
So, there's just
Yeah,
a lot going
exactly.
on there.
Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, to your point, I wish they harped on the depression more, but it's like one of those stories about the way, like, there are a lot, if you really go back and look at it, there's a lot of signs that she was majorly depressed and really needed help. And it's just the people in her life didn't recognize it, weren't equipped to handle her, or help, not handle, but like help her, or didn't know she needed help. They didn't, like, again, Paul, like, he didn't know it was this bad until he was like at the very end. He's like, oh wow, this is worse than I thought. Like, because Uma was probably masking a lot of the worst of it. And so anyway, like,
I will
it just,
say
this
that
happens, you know?
with something that has been like an ongoing constant thing, the signs probably aren't as easy to recognize from, like, the family, anybody
Yeah,
around her, even, medical professionals, because, like, that's her constant state, like,
right.
that's her normal. But
Yeah,
with the PTSD, there was a catalyst there, and, like, that's
right.
where they could see something, and so that's probably where they are right now when she went into
Yeah,
treatment, is, like, that's what they could see. Again, speaking from experience.
yeah.
Like,
Well, like
I
the
got
P,
got
yeah,
diagnosed with PTSD first, and then it was depression, anxiety, and all that shit, because there has to be this trigger moment for you for anybody to be like, "Oh, that's what's wrong right now." But then, like,
right.
once you go back through the history and you're like, "Oh, no, there's a lot more going on."
There's a lot more here. Yeah, exactly. Because like I say depression like this is insidious because it's slow. It's slow. It's kind of like, I don't know, recently I kind of watched a loved one go through cancer, and the way like they deteriorate slowly. So like when you're in it day to day with them, caring for them, you don't know it's as bad as it is because it's just,
Mhm,
it was just like Tuesday. It's just a little, you don't notice how bad it is, because you're in it with them. So, like, if you're living with day to day and she's on this very, very slow, multiple year decline that's happening very slowly, you don't notice it because day to day, it's not that much different. But with PTSD, there's an acute trigger and there's a very acute, very abrupt change in behavior. And to your point, that's recognizable. But like the slow decline over years is harder
mhm.
to be like, something's wrong. And so it would take somebody with who like hasn't seen her in 2 years that comes back and is like, girl, you're different. What the hell has happened to you? You know, it would take that kind of like lens of like not seeing her, then seeing her and being like, this is not the I remember. So I do wonder if like, just to go back to this, when she didn't have her memories of all this bullshit, she didn't have the like depression that went, you know what I mean? Her depression was gone when she lost her memories and then it comes back acutely. Imagine being and she's like, oh my God, I'm depressed. Like, that
Yeah.
must have
No,
like
that's a
really threw
lot to
her off the
take in.
rails. Yeah. Yeah. And so like Jan being like, I'm not sure you can handle this. Did Jan think she was depressed? Maybe. Oh, Jan's pretty intuitive. Do you think maybe Jan was
She
like,
probably could have figured that out.
I feel like
Yeah.
maybe Jan was like, I don't know that your mental health was that great when you had these memories. I wonder if that was part of Jan's motivation.
That, and I think that's also why she's, like, always, yeah, she's her friend, but, like, she's always there when needs her,
Yeah,
probably
remember
because, like, she knows.
because she had a pretty close watch on because if you go back to like, I don't know, beginning of this show, what with the kanji stuff, the way she runs
Mhm.
into Officer Hottie, she's like, oh, this is me and thing. We did this regularly. So she was checking in with regularly, despite her being a flight attendant. So yeah, I wonder if Jan was probably the best person to be like, I've noticed this decline over time with her. And so that's why she was perhaps the most uneasy about getting all of those memories back. Cause like, here's all happy and carefree. And she's like, oh shit. Like, yeah, I wonder if Jan
I
was like, wow,
also,
is different right now
yeah,
without these memories.
I
It's
think
the old
that was Jan's way of helping her, like, getting her help, just, like, by
Yeah,
being there as a physical presence for her, because, like, I believe, like, it's still more taboo to talk about therapy and things like that
totally.
in their
Totally.
culture. So, it's not like she would be like, "Hey, you might wanna see somebody. I see these signs in you." That's not
Yeah,
something they talk about, but she can be there for her and be like, "Hey, what's on your mind today?" And, like, try to help her through things the best she could, and that's a lot for Jan to take on. So, like,
for
kudos to
sure.
Jan for being able to separate herself and, like, not take on feelings too, because that could have
Yeah.
been very,
Bad for Jan.
yeah, like, if
Yeah.
she was, because, like, Jan's an empathetic person, but she could have really internalized those emotions and then develop depression herself.
Yeah, like secondhand depression. And I wonder if that really ties back to, again, that scene of them in the hospital when Oom's like, I want to help May, but I don't want to see her. And that's really why Jan sat there and was like, you got to do what's best for you, Oom.
Mhm.
Because I think Jan really saw it all. Damn, Jan. I wish we had more time with Jan because, like, damn, what a like point of view. Again, if we had, okay, so if we back to our fan fiction, if we had Pluto from Jan's point of view, it would mostly be a rom com until we get to the stuff with and then it would get real dramatic because
Yeah.
like their friendship is a huge part of Jan's life, and like it would have
And
been really
also,
interesting to see this
think
from Jan's
about
point of view.
why was Jan at Paul's house with her?
Yeah, exactly.
She was
And she
probably
could
just
see how depressed Oom was.
like, was getting worse and worse at that time. So, like,
Yes, that was
Jan
her
was, like,
decline.
even more around.
Right. Like, yeah, that
To the
is
point
weird to
where
have your best friend there while the fiancés are decorating their house. Like, that is weird. It's almost like Jan's like
and
this weird
she
third wheel.
was making herself at home, like, in the kitchen. So this had to be, like, a usual thing for them too.
Oh, yeah. For sure, for sure. Because Paul doesn't comment on it or anything. It's more just like Jan is just always here. Yeah, I think Jan was hovering. I think Jan could see that Oom was not doing well. Yeah.
Oh, Jan, I love
I
you even
know. But,
more.
like, again, it just makes their friendship all that much more great that, like, I'm glad had Jan, and, like, that really explains why, like, was really crying at the river being like, "Nobody loves me, nobody loves me," because you can't see what Jan is doing. Because Jan was there every single day, and, like, when you're in that depressive state, like, the constants don't stand out to you either, you know what I mean? The way, like,
Yeah.
I being like, "I'm gonna do this extreme thing," and, like, not see May, like, that gets through to because that's so different than her normal. Like,
But
it
again, it
breaks
goes
through
back
all
to
the
the
bullshit.
think to diagnosing depression versus PTSD, because like, Jan
Yeah.
was the constant, and you
Jan's the
take that for
constant.
granted too, like,
Yes. Mhm.
that's the normal.
Right.
I is the not normal part.
I's not normal. And like Mima too. Like couldn't see the Mima stuff too. Cause like she had a different interpretation of the Mima stuff, but also Mima was more of a constant for
Mhm.
So again, like if that wouldn't get through, it had to be something extreme that would break through. Like there's like a fog, like a mental fog when you're depressed like that. And you just like, you can't, it doesn't get through. And it has to be something really weird,
Mhm.
extreme, different to like break through whatever the fuck is going on with your mind. Like it's awful. It's emotional hell. Like it really is emotional hell. Like you're just
Oh, yeah.
trapped. Yeah. That's why I have a lot of feelings about because like I feel like yeah, she did horrible things and stuff, but like her mental state, her mental decline, her journey is just really interesting and like real. It's really real. Yeah, the
It is.
ultimatum stuff was crazy and dramatic, yes, but like
But
her journey
you
is real.
also don't act rationally. Like, and
No,
you
that's what I mean.
see
You
it in
can't.
the next
You
episode
cannot.
too. Her
You cannot.
thinking, even after all this, is just not rational when she
It's
gets to these
not.
moments, because that's what mental health, like, issues do to you.
Yes, right. Exactly. They are insidious. Like again, is this book smart, really intelligent person, but then you have these scenes where she's doing the opposite of that. It almost seems very out of character for this brilliant, smart, logical person to be doing this stuff. And it's like that is yet to your point, that is the result of the mental erosion because of this what's going on with her. Like that's where she's at now. She's just hitting rock bottom because she's a prisoner in her own mind and her own like emotions also like and she's a slave to them and it's just awful and frustrating and then this like you get these horrible moments where she acts out but like here she is finally like grounded in this moment and like off of the adrenaline rush of, and not as defensive and it's like she also looks like so exhausted everybody's exhausted like it just like defeated because like she's been battling that for years without realizing she was perhaps realizing the whole time she was battling this that's a marathon of
Mhm.
fighting. That's very exhausting. Versus like I just got pulled into this like a month ago. You know what I mean? Like Oom's been battling for years.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry about that tangent. I think it's relevant to talk about
Oh,
the
it
mental
is.
health part because I'm happy they do the PTSD thing, but I wholeheartedly agree with you. There is more than PTSD going on with Oom, and it's been going on since she was a kid.
Mhm.
So
No, because a lot of the times, I say with no experience whatsoever, like, a lot stems from childhood, and, like, it may lay not, like, dormant, but, like, unnoticeable, but, like, as
Yeah,
you grow up and, like, even with puberty and hormones being different, like, things start to develop, life events trigger things and makes it
yeah,
worse. So you like, "Oh, I just randomly got this thing," but, like, no, there's been signs since you were younger, it's just things didn't get as bad as it
yeah,
was
it's
now.
slow. It's a slow erosion kind of thing. Whereas PTSD is a just very fast kind of thing.
Mhm.
This is a chronic illness where it takes years to manifest. But anyway.
It's important to talk about mental health because by talking about it, people can recognize it and, like, understand someone when they're going through something.
Right, versus just watching this and being like, "Oom is evil." It's like, was she? Like, first of all, that's reductive. But second of all, like, look at the shit she went through. Like, it's did she do bad things? Yeah. But like, can you empathize with how she got here? If you can understand the mental health journey that got her here, maybe you can empathize with her a little bit. Even if you've never been through this kind of thing. Like, this
Mhm.
happens to people.
It does.
So yeah. Be kinder to each other, I guess is the other life lesson from Pluto the Series.
Especially in fandoms. Anyway,
Anyway,
we won't get into that.
no.
We'll go back to the scene.
We shall.
Instead of only focusing on like she did at the funeral, Mima then opens her arms for I to come closer to her. And then she says, this Mima loves her granddaughters the most. And
Yeah.
they really have come such a long way because Mima is making sure both of them feel loved at the same time
Yes.
instead of just focusing on one. Because, like, that's what she was doing a lot while they were growing up. It's just like, oh, this one needs me more. It's also kind of like the resources she has. Like she
Yes.
can't give all of herself to both of them at the same time because one is going to get more than the other. So she's like, this one needs more help right now. I'm going to focus all my attention on them. Meanwhile, the other one's like, but what about me? They're children. They don't understand that an adult's time and like energy is very limited, especially the energy part. Like Mima's doing every she can to do like to keep working and supporting them, loving them, making sure they're fed, they're at school on time. It's a lot.
And we saw Mima be like, okay, the thing I have to sacrifice is taking care of myself because I don't fucking have time or money for it. Because yeah,
Mhm.
there's a lot she went through.
And Mimom starts to say that she is sorry, but cuts her off, and says that she loves her and I. And like,
Aw.
yeah,
It's so
this
cute.
this whole thing is basically just a big cuddle and comfort fest with everyone just trying to comfort one another. And like they needed this just to be close to each
Yes.
other.
They needed to say "I love you" for a
Yeah.
long time. Yeah, but, like, I think everybody needed to hear it and feel it for the family to heal as one unit because they haven't been a full family unit for a long time, and, like, this is the healing of the family as they're a unit
Mhm.
again kinda thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, good scene because I that was long overdue.
Mhm. So I then gets up to grab the new Solar Siblings book, and she shows it to with like this small smile. And is in disbelief because how is the book not burned? Um,
Good question, girl.
if this was a different scene, I really could have messed with her and like pretended to not know why she was surprised and like just pretended
Seriously.
the arson never happened and been like, what do you mean? This is the book that Mima gave you.
If this was Ioun in the novel, that is absolutely what she would have done. She'd be like, what are you talking about? You must have dreamt that up. Crazy. Just read the book." She definitely gaslit Oom in the book.
It's in a different language, but you pretended like it was in English last time.
Yeah, it's not even the same book.
I then explains that she felt so bad after she burned it that she bought her a new one, but didn't have the guts to give it to her.
Wait, hold
And
on, wait. I just realized something. Did Mima know that she burned the book? Because Mima doesn't react. I mean, like, I burnt the
oh, I'm
book
sure
when we
no,
were
I'm
younger.
sure it was the whole thing with
It had to
going
have
back
been.
being like, "I burned my book."
Oh, yes, true. Oom probably ran back and cried about it. You're right. I
Yeah.
forgot kids are like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I was like,
I
Mima
cannot
definitely knew.
forget
She doesn't
that.
react.
It's like, "I'm gonna tell Mima."
That's
Children.
probably what happened, and that's why I was alone in the alley and was like, man, I don't want to get. That's probably when she like stopped the fire and grabbed the book.
She's like, "I gotta go run with my
Consequences of
friends.
my actions. Yeah, exactly.
If I stay here, Email's gonna come out and beat my ass."
Yeah, no, seriously, little monkey. That was so cute. That scene.
I love that scene. Asks I to read the book to her, and I says, of course, while Mima has the biggest grin on her face. And like, this
Yeah.
is probably what she wished it would have been like when the girls were little, just cuddling in bed and like reading together. Like, this, like, can we just all get along for
She's
once?
like, this would have been so much less work for me if you guys would have just done this when you were kids. But yeah, no, I know what you're saying.
And then I cuddles back into Mima as she starts reading. Once upon a time, the sun, the center of the solar system, discovered that she had a sibling, born at the same time and from the same gas cloud. But she had forgotten about it, so she decided to set out and find her sibling. This is basically what describes what they are doing now. Like, the siblings are trying
Absolutely.
to find each other once again, and this is the start of it all. So we fade away and fade to black, and then fade to the Pluto candle, which is the last light in this room. My question is, how is this candle not burned out by now?
That's valid. It's such a tiny candle.
Mhm.
Also, my question is, why did I bring the candle into the room in the first place? Because these are one of her candles for May so that May could navigate. So I wonder if she brought it because she misses May and that was her way to like be close to May with like low key under everybody's radar.
Yeah, I don't know, because she like brings the book and the candle says this will make feel better. So I don't know
And
if
you're talking about
the scent is a good scent, and she's like, oh, it'll help her.
well, it's kind of fucked up if you think about it, because like that's May's candle.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I don't know.
So there's that. Just throwing that out there.
All right, so back to the scene. I is awake, holding the solar sibling book close to her, while and Mima are asleep. And like while she is happy to be with her family, her thoughts are still going back to May and the black hole that left in her heart because it's just empty. Like although she feels loved by her family, there's still going to be that place where she's just there's something missing because May was like such a big part of her life and her heart. And now she doesn't
Hmm.
have that.
No.
We get this shot of I slowly getting out of bed so she wouldn't wake up the others. And I noticed that I barely had any blanket on her. She made sure that the other two were more covered than she is, showing that she is still sacrificing her wants and needs for and Mima.
Some things don't change.
Yeah, it's a pattern she can't break, and the reason she is following this ultimatum that has given her.
Yeah.
So I sits up and looks at them sleeping before she gets up and goes to sit on the floor in front of the bed as she breaks down crying. And like she's still holding the book, like this damn book that changed the trajectory of her entire life. It's this book.
It's the book's fault we're all here. I should go fight that author.
Yeah. Yes. Uh this is the worst kind of crying though because like she's sobbing while trying to make sure no one hears her.
Oh my god, this scene
And
is so
yeah,
heartbreaking. The silent crying that she does is
it's so hurt.
heartbreaking.
It's yeah, heartbreaking. And I wraps her arms around herself to try to bring her comfort. Like, although she knows that she has and Mima, she still can't really go to them for comfort about May because it would just upset
Yeah.
Like, someone give I a hug. I want to give I a hug.
Yes. I always wanna give a hug.
I would love just
I would love
hug
to hug you. Just saying.
And that's saying a lot because Theora's not a hugger.
I am not. But, like, I am curious why she decided to cry in this room versus, like, going into her room and crying.
Maybe because she still wanted to be close to them? Or, like,
Or
she
she
didn't
didn't have
think
the energy, but,
Yeah,
like, I
that's
feel
true.
like if she was gonna really break down like this, going into her room would've made the most sense, but
Yeah.
ugh, yeah. It's so that can see her do it. Narratively, I understand why, but just,
Spoiler!
like spoiler. But just from her I think this is another thing where she's emotionally not okay, she's out of it, not thinking clearly, she just exhausted all of her energy and poured it into everybody else, like you just said, and it's just like she has nothing left, and so she just kinda collapses and, like, grieves because this is a grieving moment for her. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we end this scene we end this episode on a high, wide shot of I crying, and, like, she's once again getting smaller in the frame, just
Yeah.
showing how small she is feeling right now. Like, again, yes, she has her family, and she's grateful for that. Like, that's what she wants, that's why she chose it. Like, and that's also, like, why she's holding the book close. But she lost the person that made her feel whole,
Yeah.
so she is broken right now.
This is also, like, Ai's about to be alone with her feelings the way that, like, felt alone with her feelings kind
Mhm.
of thing. Because she can't be honest about them with her family because that's her sacrifice. So it's that finality of, like, I is alone and heartbroken kind of thing
Yeah,
too. Yeah.
and that's where we end this episode.
That is absolutely where we end this episode. What a fucking amazing episode that was. I'm very thankful for GMMTV for taking the insanity that was in the novel and giving us that instead
Yeah, I don't
because
know
that
how
was
the hell
really
we got
beautiful.
that.
I would love to talk to their screenwriters because I still don't understand how we got any of this, and I also don't understand how we got us the series because I'm like, how did you take this and you're like, yeah, no, we're gonna do this instead. Like here, there was a lot more paying homage to the novel, which was batshit crazy, and they kind of twisted it, but you still get some flavor of it. Whereas in us the series, that's not a thing at all. So I just would love to know how they adapt stuff. But anyway, great episode. I really loved it. Um, do you have a big gay energy award? I don't know that I
I
do
do.
for this episode. Okay, what
I
do you
do.
got?
I just thought of it.
Besides my fan fiction about Jan.
Oh my god, yeah, Jan showing up. No, mine is Tan showing up from May out of the blue.
Oh yeah. Honestly, yeah. Yeah. That was good.
Yeah.
I have a lot of big gay dumb awards for but
Big Gay
yeah,
Trauma Award.
big gay trauma award, big gay energy award. You know what? I'm gonna give it to Mima for being like, I'm sorry I traumatized you bitches. I love that. It
Yeah.
wasn't gay, but like I was happy about that. It
No.
helped the gays.
Half the time our awards are not actually gay, but it got big gay energy.
It has big gay energy. Taylor Swift songs. If you didn't know mine, it is All Too Well.
Shocked.
I mean, you would have been if I didn't incorporate it throughout the I would have just done it here.
Mine is Come Back, Be Here, because May
Mhm.
wants I to come back and be here. Simple as
And
that.
wants I to come back and be with her, and then I's like, I just want everybody back here with me. I have to make
Yeah.
this choice. Yeah, that's good.
All right. Challenge time that I did not totally think about. You know what's a fun one? Did I do it for Pluto already though? I think I did. We've been here for so long. We've been here for 84 years.
We have been.
Um
What is
use
it?
the word. I'm thinking. I just thought of something, okay?
Sorry.
Use this word in your comment. It's just serendipitous.
I think you did do that before, but I can't
No,
remember
I
if
was
I
gonna
said
tell
it.
him to spell pterodactyl.
You've done that before.
Yeah. No, I've
With
done
Pluto.
that before. I just couldn't remember if it was for Pluto or not.
It was.
It was? Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I changed it. I don't think I did serendipitous though.
Maybe not. Do serendipitous, and then I gave you things to ponder that I throughout
Yeah.
the episode. Answer those two.
Oh, what happened to I's bike? How did it get back?
Yeah, what happened to I's motorcycle? What was the fate of that? Did it end up in the river? Is that what ended up in the river all along? Was the motorcycle? Let us know. Yeah, how did what was the fate of I's motorcycle? Let us know in the comments. And also, how did Ton end up at the river? Like, what happened off screen that got him there? I would love to know everyone's theory about that or hypothesis.
All right.
Okay.
And also, if anybody has another diagnosis for or any of the other characters, what mental health issues have we got going on with everybody?
Yeah, diagnose it rather seriously or unseriously. Diagnose as many characters as you can with some kind of mental health disorder. Let us know
That's
that
probably
in the
better.
comments.
It took a while, but there we go. That's the main challenge.
That's the main challenge. It's serendipitous because we spent an hour talking about it. Okay, cool. Thank you all. We appreciate you coming on the journey with us. We're going to take a little break next week to give you a super special episode that's it was Patreon exclusive, but will be accessible to everybody else for the very first time. It is Thai girl love themed, and we hope you enjoy it. And then after that, we will be back to conclude Pluto with episode 12. So until next time, hydrate for lesbian Jesus.
And gay it up all over the place. Bye.
And with that, we've been Big Gay Energy. If you like this episode, check out all our other episodes right here on YouTube.
Please like, leave a comment below, and subscribe for more amazing super gay content.